Okay. Good luck today.
Okay, thanks. We'll see you later.
This shirt. I didn't know you guys were going that shirt. I would have worn mine.
This one?
Yeah.
No. Well, next time.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Next time.
Next time. See how it goes. Hopefully it goes well.
Good luck.
Okay,
Okay.
Takes the snap, gives right side to Smith. He drives forward, and he's in there. Touchdown, Rebels.
Rich Rebel football is on.
Here's the snap. Anderson fakes the handoff. He keeps it himself, running the option. Cuts upfield to the 10-5. Dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Jared Anderson, and the Rich Rebels make it 13-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard.
An era of Rebel football came to a close after last season, but the end of one chapter,
And that will do it. As time runs down, the Rebels win.
means the exciting beginning of the next.
Turns and gives to Huffaker, who finds some room up the middle inside the 30.
Coach Justin Grohl takes the reins and rides on with a roster ready to make some noise.
Ott back to throw. Ball pops 3. Huffner smashed him. Avenant dropped back to pass. Reagan Hufter brought the heat.
Strap in, Rebel football fans, and join us for Rich High School football on Rebel Radio, KADQ FM 98.3, with live streaming video online at mylocalradio.com.
Give to Colton Meek. He's down inside the 10, breaks a tackle to the 5, still on his feet.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Cash Honda, Yamaha, and Logan, Westar Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, by Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet, the Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, Rocky Mountain Yeti, by Evanston Regional Hospital, Jensen Ward Motors in Montpelier, Idaho, mylocalradio.com, and by Plains Tire.
Anderson pulls it out, running the option left side, room to run, breaks one tackle, dives forward, and he is just shy of the end zone.
And now, Rebel football fans.
Rolls to his right, looking to throw. He's got his man. Throw on the sideline. Caught!
Hang up your boots, crank up the volume, and get ready to roll as we head to the gridiron to join the play-by-play voice of the Rebels, Ryan Steineckert.
Deep down the left sideline, Trineri steps in front and intercepts it. Good afternoon and welcome to Rich Rebel Football on KADQ and MyLocalRadio.com. This afternoon, the Rebels are at Layton Christian. We've got a beautiful backdrop with snow in the tops of the mountains, the colors on the hills, and the Rebels and the Layton Christian Eagles facing off. Kickoff is 45 minutes from now. In the meantime, we have your pregame show. It's presented by Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet. We'll hear from Rolene, and then we'll set the scene for today's game. Rich at Layton Christian on Rebel Radio, the Wildlife, and MyLocalRadio.com.
Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston is Rich County's representative. As a mother and grandmother of Rich High graduates and current students, and a longtime resident of Randolph, Rolene is familiar with your needs and will work to provide you with the best customer service in the industry. The next time you're looking for a new car or truck, think Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston. We're a different kind of dealer.
Play hard and go Rebels.
Because achieving financial goals requires a plan, it's nice to know that you can visit the Zions Bank Randolph branch to discuss and plan your investment strategies with a financial specialist. Your Zions Bank branch also offers banking on the go with mobile banking and bill pay, home loans, checking and savings accounts, and more. You'll always see a friend at the Zions Bank in Randolph, Utah. Stop in today. We haven't forgotten who keeps us in business.
Back on the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet pregame show, and boy, it's an exciting match for you, exciting game this afternoon as the Rebels play at Layton Christian, and serious playoff implications, and we'll get into more detail on those implications in just a bit during our scene set, brought to you by Zions Bank, the Randolph branch. At Zions Bank, we haven't forgotten who keeps us in business. Zions Bank, more than just a bank, part of your community. The Rebels come in at 1-6, 0-1 in the 1A North. Similar or same record for the Eagles in the 1A North, 0-1. LCA is 2-5 overall this season. Similar output offensively, similar output defensively, or similar defensive allowance. So Rebels allowing 31 points a game, the Eagles allowing 32 a game. Eagles have been a little bit better on offense at 2 touchdowns per game, Rebels at 1 touchdown per game. And if we were to compare scores, we'd see some similar scores as well. But the bottom line is the playoff implications in this matchup. The winner will keep themselves in a position to earn a home game in the first round of the playoffs. The loser will probably, will certainly go on the road for the first round of the playoffs. And right now, that's looking like the difference of you go on the road, you face either at Milford or at Parowan. And if you're Rich, Rebels lost a combined score against those two teams, 85-8. If the Rebels can earn the home game, that would be likely against either Kanab or Monticello. And if you combine the two games, Rich versus Monticello and Kanab, the Rebels outscored those two teams 35-27. And that was after a performance at Monticello. The Rebels would like to try again. They feel pretty confident they would beat the Buckaroos if they played them again. And similar story for Layton Christian. They've competed much better against Monticello and Kanab than they did against Parowan and Milford. Now, the last time the Rebels took the field, it was against Duchesne at home last week. Rebels defensively really played well. They held Duchesne to 2 touchdowns. The Eagles tackled the Rebels in the end zone for a safety as well, and those were all their scores. Duchesne had just 47 passing yards. Now, rushing the ball, 225 yards. That's more than the Rebels wanted to give up, and that was a big difference in the game. But ultimately, the Rebel defense really played well. Offensively, Rich had nothing last week. They're going to have to find something this week against Layton Christian, and it probably won't get much easier. You're going to see and hear about some big players that this Layton Christian team has. They've got some very big linemen. Now, speaking of Duchesne, they beat Altamont last night, 21-6. So Altamont 1-1 in the conference or in the region. Duchesne 2-0. They're on track to win the North region. Layton Christian, their last time out, a 21-0 loss against Altamont. They beat Monticello 17-14 at Monticello on Friday the 28th of September. And just comparing a couple other scores, they lost a similar score at Milford, 42-0. They scored 3 times against Parowan but lost 49-21. And then at Kanab, They jumped out to a 13-0 lead, but the Cowboys scored the next 34 points and won 34-13. Layton Christian, as I mentioned, comes in at 2-5. They are 0-1 in the 1A North, and no state titles in the history of Layton Christian football. They did make it to a state title game in 2011, but lost to Duchesne in that championship game. The last few years, they've lost in the quarterfinals to Kanab last year, to Milford the year before, and to Diamond Ranch the year before that. Now, other games going on today in the 1A South. It's Kanab hosting Parowan and Monticello at Milford. So we'll keep an eye on those scores and give you some scores at the half. Last time these teams played, it was all Layton Christian. Rich scored twice. Kennan Clark had 200 rushing yards on 14 carries, including an 80-yard touchdown run. And so that was a positive, but the Eagles did a lot more positive. I had Dustin Moffo with 311 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, including runs of 64, 48, and 29 yards. Riley McCombs, who was a senior last year, had 22 carries for 114 yards. He's gone, but back is Dustin Moffo. And Coach Justin Grohl told his team this week that Moffo hits the hole harder than any running back he's ever seen. This is a very good running back in Dustin Moffo. Well over 1,000 yards last year. He needs just 3 yards to get to that 1,000-yard plateau this year. The history between these two teams has mostly been rich. Layton Christian won last year, 41-13. They also won in 2011, 12-7. The other 9 times these teams have met, the Rebels have won. We'll tell you more about the series matchup between Rich and Layton Christian on our Laketown Ledger. That's coming up later in the pregame show. For now, that wraps up our scene set. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Layton, and we've got high temperatures right around 58. There's a cool breeze coming in from the west, but overall sunny temperatures, or sunny weather, and just a light breeze is all it is. A beautiful backdrop. You can see the mountains with the snow caps on top. If you're watching online at mylocalradio.com, let me give you the...
You're tuned in to Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ Evanston.
Oops, my mistake on that. But let me give you the better view of that, the unobstructed view of the hills, the trees, and the scene here at Layton Christian. Stay tuned. We've got more of your pregame show coming up. This scene set has been brought to you by Zions Bank, financial resources, wealth management solutions, mortgage services, and more. Stay tuned. The Mountain Valley Cattle Company, Where Are They Now, is up when we return on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on mylocalradio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit mylocalradio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live.
We know that when you think of Plains Tire in Evanston, you always think
The Tire Professionals.
Quality customer service. They're friendly with great prices.
I really like Plains Tire in Evanston.
But did you also know that the team at Plains Tire offers oil changes, windshield wiper checks, and free alignment checks? That's right, free alignment checks. We don't want you to quit thinking all those great things when you hear Plains Tire. We just want you to add to the list. Plains Tire, the tire professionals. Stop in today, 157 Bear River Drive.
Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet pregame show. This afternoon, the Rebels continue 1A North Region play at Layton Christian. The winner of today's game keeps their hopes alive for a first-round playoff home game, and that's a big difference, especially for the Rebels. We'll look into a little bit more detail on that a little later in our pregame show. For now, we're about 35 minutes away from our opening kickoff, and it's time to catch up with Rebel alum Jason Forsgren, who graduated from Rich High School in 1992. This portion of the Rolene Kennedy pregame show is called Where Are They Now? It's brought to you by Mountain Valley Cattle Company, Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. We'll be right back with Jason Forsgren on this broadcast of Rich Rebel Football on Rebel Radio and online at
Winston Churchill said, "No hour of life is wasted that is spent in the saddle." The same is true about education. No hour of life is wasted when learning. Eddie and Todd Jensen, owners of Mountain Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho, understand the value of good education. Serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming, Mountain Valley Cattle Company is proud to support the students at Rich High School in academics and activities. Mountain Valley Cattle Company, 208-339-0614. Ryan Steineckert on the Where Are They Now interview brought to you by Mountain Valley Cattle Company. And today we're visiting with Sergeant Jason Forsgren. Jason, thanks for your time today.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here.
1992 graduate of Rich High School?
That's correct.
Tell me about your days at Rich.
You know, I have fond memories of Rich High. I moved there as a senior, and some of my best friends from moving there and still in contact with a lot of people from Rich County.
So we'll get back to more of that in just a bit, but the interview is called Where Are They Now? So I'll ask you that. Where are you now?
I'm currently in Wyoming, and as you mentioned, I'm a sergeant with Lyman Police Department. Been living here for just over 6 years and been in law enforcement for just about 5. I used to work for Uintah County Sheriff's Department and was there for 4.5 years, and I've been with Lyman for 5 months now.
What got you into law enforcement? Why did you go that route for a career?
You know, it's not your typical route. My father was a state highway patrolman for Utah, which is the reason we moved to Rich County. He took a job there, and I went kicking and screaming at the time. I did not want to go, and I always thought I'd do something different. So 16 years of working for the state of Utah in youth corrections and looking for a change, and had some really close friends here in the Evanston area, and one of my good buddies that's an investigator for Uintah County Sheriff's Office, Jared Acey, said, well, why don't you come work for us? And that's kind of where it all started, and it's taken some definite turns for the good, and I'm with Lyman now and loving it.
Do you want to talk any about family? Do you have kids?
I'm single, and I have 2 daughters. My oldest is a freshman at University of Utah, and my youngest is also a daughter, and she's on the drill team at Mountain Crest and is a freshman there.
Now, you spent some time you grew up in the Cache Valley. How do you feel about the daughter being at University of Utah, Ute?
You know, I was always wanted to play football at Utah State, and it didn't happen. And in fact, Coach Justin Grohl and I took a recruiting trip to SUU. He did go there. I didn't. I thought I'd walk on at Utah State. It didn't work out. So I'm good with her being at the U. If I had my say, she'd be at UW and be a Poke.
Now, Jason, I was looking you up a little bit on Facebook this week, and I couldn't help but notice you're a Lonesome Dove fan. You're going to retire and get a little place up in Montana, take a herd of cattle up there with Captain Call?
You know, my best friend, Lyndon Johnson, when I moved out to this ranch that I live on, he said, my goodness, that looks like Lonesome Dove. So the name stuck, and it's what we call where I live. It's just Lonesome Dove, and it is kind of Lonesome Dove-esque. With it's quiet. There's nobody around. It's the perfect place for me to live with this job, where I can go decompress from a stressful day at work and not have to deal with anybody.
You get up early and read the good book and bake some biscuits in the Dutch oven?
Absolutely. Fire up some coffee in the pot. Yeah, absolutely.
We're visiting with Jason Forsgren on the Mound Valley Cattle Company Where Are They Now interview. And Jason, let's get back to being at Rich High School. You said you moved there for your senior year. Where were you before that, and what brought you to Rich?
So prior to that, I was at Skyview High School in Smithfield, Utah. And like I say, my dad informed us he was going to transfer with the Utah Highway Patrol from Cache County, and he went over to Rich County for the job. I remember him explaining it to us like this. He said, look, I get to be my own boss, and I get 2 vehicles, because Rich County weather is not actually very pleasant in the wintertime, much like Wyoming. And so he had a Mustang GT for the summertime, and then he had a Dodge Power Wagon 4-wheel drive SUV for the winter, and he liked that.
The Mustang might have been what it took to get him there.
That's it, yeah, and it was fun to ride in. I still remember as a kid getting to ride sometimes with my dad in that Mustang, and I'm telling you what, it's way faster than my patrol vehicle.
1992 was just a couple of years before that three-peat for the Rebel football team. How were you guys that year, and what do you remember most from playing Rich football?
You know, when I think of Rich football, I think of the start of kind of their dynasty and tradition. Rich has a solid tradition in football, one of the best in the state. My senior year was the first year that Rich had won a playoff game. We actually went all the way to the state championship, which was really fun. We lost in a heartbreak game to North Summit on a questionable call. We'll leave it at there. I'm good friends with the North Summit football coach now, Gary Crittenden, and if he happens to hear this, I'm still telling you that was a pass. That was an incomplete shuffle pass. It was not a fumble, but at any rate, we got to go down to University of Utah, play on the old turf, and boy, that was tough. That was hard turf. If you got tackled on it, you knew it. But we had a great team, some tremendous athletes, and we just had a really fun time. When I think of Rich football, I think of that. I was also part of the 96 team as a coach. I think of that also. Some just absolute great athletes on that team, and we just put the hurt on a lot of people. There wasn't very many close games.
Jason, did you do, you look like a guy, you could have been a heavyweight wrestler, maybe you played basketball, any other activities or the musical, anything else you did at Rich?
I actually did wrestle heavyweight my senior year, and at Skyview I did play basketball and track, but at Rich I just played football and wrestled.
Any teachers or coaches that really had a major influence on who you've become?
Absolutely. The best coach I ever had, and I've had a lot of coaches, best coach I ever had was Coach Jerry Holmes, without a doubt. He changed football for me. I loved football, I thought, before I got to Rich. I absolutely love football to this day because of him and the influence. He brought in a great supporting cast. Stan Thompson, a phenomenal guy, phenomenal coach. To this day, one of my best friends still. Coach Peterson came down from Cokeville as well. Just some great coaches, great men, and I'm still in touch with all of them today.
Is there anything for the folks maybe listening to today's interview you'd like to say?
I appreciate you saying that. One of my classmates, Darren Pugmeyer, I just read that his store over in Garden City, Pugstones, was hit by a semi that didn't negotiate the building, and from what I understand, it's a total loss. And so definitely thinking of him, and I know this county will come together to help him, and when they do, whether that's auctions or whatever, I want to be a part of that, and I want to be there for him. He's a tremendous guy, one of the best athletes to ever come through Rich High, in my opinion. He's just a good friend.
Jason, and being a big Pokes fan, and then I always ask a prediction for the Rebels game. So let's go double duty here for you. The Pokes are at Fresno State. The Rebels are at Layton Christian. Let's get a prediction on those two games.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the Rebels have a great opportunity to go down there and steal one at Layton Christian. I do believe that the Rebels will beat Layton Christian. I think it's going to be a close game. It could be, let's go with 10-7, 14-7. I'll go with 14-7 Rebels. Wyoming does not have as good a chance, but they are my team, and so I'm going to say I'm going to give you this with my heart, not my head, but they're going to win 28-24.
Jason, anything else you want to touch on we haven't talked about?
No, I really appreciate this opportunity. It came up in a strange way on a traffic stop in Lyman, turned into this interview. And it wasn't you that I pulled over. I will say that. But no, I appreciate it. It's always good. Rich County, I have a real soft spot in my heart for Rich County and the folks there. It's fond memories, and even though I went kicking and screaming, it's probably the best thing that ever happened for me, having my family move there. And I love that place.
Jason Forsgren, Sergeant with the Lyman Police Department on the Mound Valley Cattle Company. Where are they now? Thanks so much for your time. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason, for joining us on Where Are They Now, brought to you by Mound Valley Cattle Company, Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. When we return on the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet pregame show, we'll visit with the coaches of today's teams on the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. You're tuned in to Rich Rebel Football on KADQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video at my local...
Bring your vehicle for service at Rocky Mountain Yeti and feel the difference. It's easy. Visit with one of the friendly service riders and then relax and enjoy hot waffles and ice cream. While you relax Yeti style, your vehicle will be worked on by our experienced mechanics. From regular maintenance to major repairs, we do it all. Have your service work done at Rocky Mountain Yeti in Evanston and feel the difference. Get Yeti'd today.
Ooh, yeah.
100 Wasatch Road in Evanston.
No matter what you need to have printed, Westar Printing is the place you want to have it done. Calendars, letterhead, envelopes, brochures, books, posters, vinyl banners, business forms, announcements, wedding invitations, and business cards are just a few examples. You can also have your favorite family photos printed on canvas or placed into a personalized family photo calendar. You will want to do business with Westar Printing. Stop in today. Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston.
tuned in to Rich High Rebel Football on KADQ 98.3 and mylocalradio.com. This is Rebel coach Justin Grohl on the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. Stay tuned in. Kickoff is just 20 minutes away here on KADQ.
Welcome to the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show. The Rebels had a 3-game winning streak going against Layton Christian until last year. The Eagles ran over, around, and through the Rebels, gaining more than 440 yards on the ground and almost 560 yards of total offense. Rebels defense will have to be much better today, and the offense has got to find itself as well. No one sees the game the way the coaches do, so we'll take a few minutes to visit with opposing coach Drew Jones, and then we'll talk to Rebel head man Justin Grohl and get his thoughts on today's game. We'll be back after this from Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care on this broadcast of Rich Rebel Football and the Wildlife with live streaming video at mylocalradio.com.
Go Rebels!
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 20 for quality and best practices and critical access. Offering a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. When it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
Ryan STEINECKERT with Coach Drew Jones of the Layton Christian Eagles. Coach, I appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate everything you've done for us and the high school sports of 1A, because we don't get a lot of looks, but you do a really good job.
I appreciate that, Coach. Tell me about how you feel your season is going to this point.
You know, it's going well for what we've got going. We're really young. All 4 of my receivers are underclassmen. My quarterback's a sophomore. 2 of the 5 linemen are sophomores. So we're young. We're learning. We're still trying to figure this thing out. It's the same way those guys go on and play defense too. So we're really young, but I think they're doing okay. We're going to be fine. We're getting better each week, and I'm proud of them.
A couple of wins this season. You beat Monticello. You beat North Summit real early on, a 2A team. I want to talk specifically about your game with Kanab. You guys jumped out to an early lead, and then they scored a bunch unanswered. What happened in that game?
We came out 13-0 on the first 2 series, and I think we got complacent, thinking it would be now we can just ride it out. Our kids haven't figured out how to finish just yet, and so we're trying to teach them how to finish it off and go. You know, Kanab made some great adjustments on us. We had a hard time covering the pass out in the flats. We were running a run-stop defense because we were struggling previously stopping the run, so we focused point on just stopping the run. We're going to give up the flats. Well, they made the adjustment, got to the flats. We didn't make the adjust right, and that's kind of what happened. Saying that, on offense, though, we just puttered out. We had mistakes. We would move the ball 20-20 and couldn't finish. We were inside the red zone, I think, 3 or 4 times without points. So it actually was closer than what people would see on the scoreboard, but we just didn't finish. So
this game is big between you and Rich for playoff seeding, because if you consider 2 wins in the region, you get a home game in the first round, you'd likely face Kanab or Monticello. Now, that'll yet to be decided, but that's what's looking like the probability. On the road, you're either at Parowan or Milford, and those are 2 very different categories of opponents.
Yeah, you know, on the south side, everybody is, I think, pretty tough this year. I mean, the south is pretty rough, you know, and I think in the north here, it's a crapshoot. I do not know. I mean, we didn't play very well last week against Altamont. I mean, we just did not play well. People can sit here and say, I thought going to Kanab and then Monticello and then to Altamont was hard on our kids, especially with only 24 players. We were banged up. You know, Dustin runs hard, but Dustin was playing with injuries against Kanab and Monticello. He's now finally healthy, so we'll see. He was banged up against Altamont, so we couldn't do stuff. Our one sophomore receiver, he didn't play receiver against Altamont because he got banged up. So we had some injuries, but I think it's a crapshoot through the north right now. I can't tell you. You know, Duchesne's going to be Duchesne, you know, but Altamont, Rich, and us, it's going to be who shows up that night and plays well and goes, you know, to toes with each other. I just don't know. I mean, I watched the Duchesne Altamont game last night, and Altamont was moving the ball, and all of a sudden Duchesne just does what Duchesne does and breaks out this lead on them. And so it's just interesting this year. You know, I think it's going to be a crapshoot when we get to the playoffs too. I just don't know. When Rich beat Kanab, everybody was in shock. I wasn't. Rich is a good football team with a lot of prestige. You know, I mean, they know how to win. They know how to finish. They know how to do things. So it wasn't a surprise. I mean, I just think 1A is closer than what people really think it is.
Coach, Dustin being back for you is bad news for Rich. He ran for, I think, 320 yards or something against the Rebels last year. I imagine you want to do more of the same this year, get him to carry the load?
Yeah, he averages about 35 carries a game right now. He carries the ball a lot. He's your grinder. I mean, he's a tougher kid. In fact, he's right after the game, he's headed to Cedar City to go on a recruiting trip to SUU. So he is a really good football player. He's a kid that won't come out of the game. He plays, you know, offensive, defense. He's also our long snapper. He also is on the kickoff team. He's just all over the place. I wish I had more Dustins. I mean, he's one of the greatest kids ever. He's a 4.0 student. I mean, he's just a great kid. I wish the best for him. And obviously, people know we're gonna give him the ball. I mean, we're gonna give him the ball and see what he does. We're hoping our O-line. We changed some stuff up front. We're going to see how it works, and it opens up some more lanes for him. But, yeah, he will touch the ball 35 times.
Coach, anything else you want to touch on real quick?
No, I like I said, I'm thankful that we have Rich coming down to play us. I've never played Rich down here yet. So this is my third season. This will be the first time I get to play him at home. I'm excited to play Rich. I love Rich High School. So I think the world of that community and that football program and that school. It's just a fun rival game. You know, I love 1A North football. It's just a fun. You got to play and it's fun and there's nothing better than having two small schools play each other at 4 p.m. and at least we don't have to deal with the cold and as well and just have some fun with it.
We got a beautiful backdrop tonight at Layton Christian. Coach Andrew Jones, thanks so much for your time. Good luck tonight and the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thank you again for everything you've done. Like I said, your work is unbelievable.
Thanks, Coach Jones. We're only about 15 minutes away from kickoff and today's action. You're tuned in to the Bear Lake Memorial Hospital Coaches Show, and coming up on the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet pregame show, we'll talk with Rebel head coach Justin Grohl. This is Rich Rebel Football on Rebel Radio and online at mylocalradio.com.
Many of our customers have trusted Jensen Wood Motors for generations. It's important to all of us here at the dealership we always work for the people. My grandpa was a man of his word, and he passed that tradition on to us. We understand that we're here to serve our customers, and every day we try and do that to the best of our ability. We really appreciate each customer, and we want to make sure that they feel that when they're doing business with us.
Jensen Wood Motors, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Montpelier, Idaho.
My name is Dr. Micah Pullins. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Evanston Regional Hospital. Orthopedic surgery is the practice of medicine centered around bones and joints. It's all about movement and activity and getting that to be less painful. Watching a patient with a specific problem, whether that's pain or decreased range of motion, and being able to treat them, by far the best part of my job.
Welcome back to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet pregame show. We're in the middle of the Coaches Show, brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. As I mentioned earlier, the team that wins today keeps its hopes alive to host a first-round playoff game. Now, for the Rebels, that's a huge difference. If the Rebels have to hit the road for the first round of the playoffs, they would likely play either Parowan or Milford. If the Rebels can host in the first round, it would likely be Kanab or Monticello. If you add up scores for the Rebels against those teams this season, a road game, the Rebels, again, Parowan or Milford, lost by a combined 85-8. A home game in the first round of the playoffs, the Rebels against Monticello and Kanab, won a combined score 35-27. Huge difference there if the Rebels can stay at home and host either Monticello or Kanab in that first round of the playoffs. And that only happens if the Rebels can win today at Layton Christian. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We'll talk with Rebel head coach Justin Grohl about how his team plans to come away with a victory today That's right after this on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
As the hospital closest to Bear Lake, professional medical care is always available at Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. As a full-service hospital, Bear Lake Memorial offers an emergency room that's open 24/7. They treat patients of all ages. Other professional services include physicians' clinics, assisted living, home health services, counseling, dialysis, physical, occupational, and speech therapy, orthopedic care, and skilled nursing. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care.
Hello all, Dr. Dog here. I want to talk to you about PetMinerals.com. By merging the highest quality veterinary grade ingredients with highly advanced mineral technology, PetMinerals.com produces the most innovative pet supplements on the market. The supplements focus on specific needs like hip and joint, digestive, and overall diet. You and I both know a healthy pet is a happy pet. Show your pets how much you care. Order them supplements today at PetMinerals.com.
Ryan Steineckert with Justin Grohl, the Rich Rebel football team. Coach, thanks for your time today. A 17-0 loss at Duchesne. You've watched the film on it now and had it settle in a couple of days. Looking back on it now, how do you feel?
You know, I'm really pleased with the way the defense stepped up. They did a pretty good job. You know, we struggled on offense, and we've got to fix a few things, but we'll be okay. You know, that's one of our region, but we can still have a home playoff game, you know, if we come to play. So you just have to take it one week at a time, one day at a time for right now for our kids, and I hope we get a few people healthy again, and you know, I think if we can get a little bit of everybody healthy, we'll be just fine.
A few things to touch on there. First, Duchesne's average starting field position in the second half was like your 40, 45-yard line. For you guys to hold them to just one score, your defense really did play tough.
Yeah, you know, a couple of times they were within the 5, and they turned it over to us and gave it right back. So they really stepped up. The defense played very, very well, you know, and I was just proud of them.
We know Colton Meek is out for the season, and I hope his recovery is going well. Hope he's doing all right. Hayden Meek, Cooper Cornea told me on Monday that Hayden is okay, got negative on the x-rays. Jared Anderson, concussion, is that right?
Yeah, Hayden's good to go. He just bruised that collarbone again, but they checked him out. He's good to go. Jared is, you know, a day-to-day thing. That all is depending on how his parents and everybody that they take him to decides. So right now we just have to play it, prepare that he's not there, and then if it is, that's just a bonus for us.
And with concussions, it may be that he's fine and he can play this week. It may be that he won't play the rest of the season.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is, you know, with the concussions these days and that you just never know. It's all up to the doctors and how it goes. So you just prepare for them not being there, and then if it is, it's just a bonus.
You mentioned the playoff seeding. If you guys can get a home game, you'd likely face either Kanab or Monticello. You beat Kanab. You should have beat Monticello. You were right with them at their place. If you're on the road, it's probably at Parowan or Milford. So that's a huge difference, being on the road in the first round of the playoffs versus being at home.
Yeah, it's extremely, you know, that's what I told the kids after the game this week. I said, you know what, even as bad as that is, the next 2 games are critical to us, and we've just got to step it up and that, because we want a home game. We want to face either Kanab, you know. Kanab's a tough team, and they'll be good. And I keep telling them I'd like another shot at Monticello. We never even really showed up till last 4 minutes, the fourth quarter, and then so I would like to another shot. I believe that we could beat them, you know. So it would be interesting as long as we can get a one. If not, you know, our chances, sometimes the odds are really against you, and they would be extremely against us. You know, anything can happen, but it would be, you know, one of those things that it would not be good.
Coach, I waste a lot of time comparing scores and going, well, let's see, Rich beat Kanab beat Layton. That's all, like I said, a waste of time. What's your take on Layton Christian?
They're big. They're very big. They've got a back that runs probably harder to the hole than any back I've ever seen. He just flat out gets there and gets there fast, and he's pretty hard to bring down. He's pretty shifty. One thing, we've just got to get him corralled up a little bit before he ever gets going, because he will get going. And he's got that big offensive line in front of him. I mean, when I think they were averaging over 320, 340, somewhere in there. And, I mean, when you get somebody that hits the hole fast and a big line, you can do some damage in a hurry.
Your defensive line, the biggest guys, like what, 185?
We don't have a lineman or a defensive guy on either side of the ball that's over 200. So, yeah, it's quite a big difference.
So slow down their running game. What else you need to do to beat the Eagles?
They'll pass. I think we got to bring some pressure. He's not as great of a passer if he has a lot of pressure to him. So we're going to have to come from a lot of different directions and hope to let him have to run and try to throw it on the run and hurry him. And I think, that's kind of the way we're going to look at things.
Anything else you want to touch on, Coach?
No, I think that's pretty good.
Justin Grohl, the Rich Rebels, good luck preparing this week and all the challenges you're going to face in getting ready for Friday's game. Good luck with the Eagles.
Thank you so much.
This has been the Coaches Show, brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. We're down to crunch time as this thing kicks off in less than 10 minutes. You're tuned in to the Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet pregame show of Rich Rebel football on KADQ FM 98.3 with live streaming video at mylocalradio.com.
When it comes to parts and service, don't rely on anyone other than the team at Cash Honda Yamaha in Cache Valley. The professional mechanics and parts department team have the experience to help you with whatever you need. When you need to add a winch, get an extra belt or spark plugs, winterize, repair or replace tires, or have a rebuild, they can help. Whatever you need, gift ideas, parts, accessories, or a great mechanic, you'll find it all at Cache Honda Yamaha in between Logan and Smithfield on Highway 91.
At beautiful Bear Lake, skiing, snowmobiling, sailing, and swimming are just some of the fun activities offered to recreationists. The Greater Bear Lake Valley offers prime hunting and fishing areas, whether it's trout fishing in the streams or ice fishing for Cisco on the lake, hunting deer or seeking elk along the high mountain ridges. The scenic corner of Utah and Idaho offers outdoor recreation and historical interests away from crowds and high prices. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
Some folks say that life can be measured in seasons. At Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston, we have vehicles for every season. From new to experienced drivers, we understand that safety, affordability, and great mileage are always on the must-have list. So whether you're just starting out or it's time to expand your fleet, we've got every season covered. Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet. Stop in today, 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a different kind of dealer.
Welcome back to the pregame show, brought to you by Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative for Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet. Rebels are on the field, continuing to run through their warm-ups and try to get Stetson Huffaker, who's the starting quarterback for the Rebels today, trying to get him a little more comfortable taking snaps, making reads, and making those throws. That's what's going on here, pregame show. Our pregame of this one. Layton Christian has just retaken the field. Their captains are at midfield ready to head to the coin toss. We'll keep an eye on that as we bring you the Laketown Ledger, brought to you by the town of Laketown. Good luck, Rebels, from Mayor and Town Council of Laketown, Mayor Sim Weston, council members Dallas Clark, Chris Hodges, Gary Ogilvie, and Delora White. Rebels have played Layton Christian 11 times. The Eagles started their football program, or the first time the Rebels faced the Eagles was in 2005. I think that was in the first year of Layton Christian's football program. And the Rebels won 6 straight against Layton Christian from 2005 to 2010. Then the Eagles got the better of the Rebels, 12-7 in 2011. Rich won in 12, 43-7. They won 2 years ago here, 46-14. Last year, or 2 years ago, 28-20, the Rebels won here up at Rich. And then last year, though, the Eagles got the better of the Rebels with a dominant victory, 41-13. Layton Christian had almost 470 yards of offense in that, or 570 yards of offense, almost 450 on the ground. So the Rebels and the Eagles have met 11 times. Rich has 9 wins, the Eagles 2. That's your Laketown Ledger, brought to you by the town of Laketown. Good luck, Rebels, from the Mayor and Town Council of Laketown. We've got your epic recreation keys of the game coming up in just a moment, but first, the Pugstone Sporting Goods green scene. And boy, we want to wish the best to Pugstone Sporting Goods. Not sure just how all that's going to turn out, but our best thoughts and prayers with the Pugmire family, Darren and his wife and kids, and best on their as they try to recover from what happened earlier this week, that truck crashing into the building. Winter, summer, spring, or fall, Pugstones has it all. The scene, it's a beautiful scene here at Layton Christian. We're looking up at the Wasatch Mountains out in front of us. The colors are changing. You've got a lot of just spattering of reds, mostly reds, greens, and yellows up there, but the white snow-capped mountains, it's 53 degrees. The breeze almost non-existent at this point. We've had a light breeze a bit. Layton Christian in the home black, big red numbers. I appreciate that. Those easy-to-see numerals on the back of the jerseys. Rebels in the blue pants with the white jerseys and blue helmets. Captains at midfield. And see some Rebel fans across the way in the visiting bleachers. They're staring into the sun. The home bleachers here filling up. There's a good student section. They know they had a pep rally at about 3 o'clock leading up to today's game. Now, Layton Christian will have a home game next week as well. They'll wrap up the season hosting Duchesne. Rebels will be back home to host Altamont next week, and that game was Friday. It's been moved to Thursday. Looks like the coin toss. I thought I saw the Whitecap official toss the coin, but haven't seen any indication of who won the toss or not yet. Now, again, the green scene is brought to you by Pugstone Sporting. Looks like the Rebels chose the direction. Layton Christian will receive to start this game. So Layton Christian to start with the football. There's your coin toss. Moving along in our pregame coverage real quickly, let's do the Epic Recreation keys of the game. Epic Recreation. For all your rentals in the Bear Lake area, visit epicrecreation.net. Number one is Handle the Bigs. 6 feet, 2 inches, 292 pounds. Now, that may sound like the average size of the offensive lineman for the Utah State Aggies. Maybe the team just up the road, the Weber State Wildcats. Nope. Layton Christian Eagles, starting 5, offensive lineman, average 6'2", 292. The little guy, Calvin Allen, checks in at 5'11", 240. And on the other end of the scale is left tackle Michael Cannon at 6'2", 350. It's not much difference on the defensive line where the Eagles weigh in at 6'2", 240. To compete today in Layton, the Rebels have to handle the Bigs. We'll take one quick break. Be back with the rest of your Epic Recreation keys of the game right after this on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Most of our limits we have in life come from the walls in our own mind. The Town Council and citizens of Lake Town, Utah celebrate all students and staff in the Rich School District. Learning and education will help make that wall in your mind shorter, so it is easier to jump over. We encourage every student to reach their full potential through hard work, continued education, and focus.
Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston is Rich County's representative. As a mother and grandmother of Rich High graduates and current students, and a longtime resident of Randolph, Rolene is familiar with your needs and will work to provide you with the best customer service in the industry. The next time you're looking for a new car or truck, think Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston. We're a different kind of dealer.
Play hard and go Rebels.
Light up your world with a custom-built LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign in Evanston. It's a proven fact that signage that lights up creates more attention. So light it up and then add text, images, and video, and your sign becomes even more powerful. Start sharing your advertising messages and information with your customers today. The team at Rocky Mountain Sign provides all types of quality signage that is custom-built and maintained. Call today for a free quote. Rocky Mountain Sign, 307-789-5202. Rocky Mountain Sign, serving customers in Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho.
Serving Wyoming since 1941, Plains Tire is Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer with great locations throughout the state. They'll get you the right tires that offer the best results for your vehicle at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Plus, you can go to any Plains Tire Pro dealer with their nationwide warranty service. And check out their Plains Tire phone app.
Come down and see us at Plains Tires on 157 Bear River Drive for all your automotive needs. Hablamos también español.
Welcome
back to Layton Christian, and the national anthem just sung, a beautiful rendition. Hannah Griffin from here in the Layton area. Let's jump back into your epic recreation keys of the game. Number one was handle the bigs. That's right. The offensive line averages 6'2", 292 for Layton Christian. Number two, less is mofo. As a junior a year ago, Dustin Mofo ran over, around, and through the Rich Rebels to the tune of 28 carries, 311 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He averaged better than a first down every time he touched the ball. As a senior, Mofo has run for 200-plus yards in 3 games, and he needs 3 yards to eclipse the 1,000-yard mark, and he averages 6.4 yards per carry. If the Rebels allow Dustin anything close to what he did last year, it's going to be another long afternoon for Rich. To keep it close today, the Rebels have to make sure less is mofo. And number three, find the offense. The Rebel offense has had its moments this year, and it's clear that Coach Justin Grohl's schemes have the potential to move the ball like the Aggies did on the Cougars last Friday night. But so far, the Rebels haven't found the consistency they need to outscore their opponents. While the defense has shown some excellent improvement the last couple of weeks, the offense has got to find its groove, put together some drives like the 2 it had against Kanab, and put some points on the board. They found it for a Saturday afternoon 2 weeks ago on homecoming, and to stay alive for a first-round home game, Rich today, again, has to find the offense. Those are your keys of the game, brought to you by Epic Recreation. Visit epicrecreation.net. Here's your Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff, helping Rebels get back in the game since 1998. It's a low squib. It's on the ground, bumbled, bobbled, and then dropped on back about the 12-yard line. And finally, it was Ulrich Sutton who had a little trouble with it initially and then made the smart decision to just fall on it and make sure to secure it as it was a live football. So the Eagles take over 1st and 10 from their own 12. Let's say the 13 actually is where they'll spot that. Your Zions Bank starting lineups coming up momentarily. We'll get to that in just a second as the Eagles are lined up ready to go. Spread formation, 2 left, 2 right. Jace Holt in the backfield, or in the shotgun, gives to Dustin Mofo, and he bounces it outside. He's got some room across the 25, 30, 35. Finally tripped up near midfield. Landon Hunting makes a touchdown-saving tackle out at the 47-yard line. Now, I've been told by a few different individuals that it's Mofo. I've been told by a few others it's Mofo. I'm not sure what to go with here. That's a first down for Layton Christian. The PA man is saying Mofo. That's a 35-yard gain for the senior. Starting offense for the home team, the Layton Christian Eagles. Again, brought to you by Zions Bank as the Eagles line up, take the snap. Mofo slips. Holt throwing deep down the middle of the field, and it's caught. In the coverage, Hayden Meek was there, but he got turned the wrong direction, and the long throw caught at the 20 by number 20, Trey Johnson, all the way to the Rebel. Oh, ruled incomplete. So the pass incomplete. All right, the left tackle to right tackle, senior, 6'2", 350 pounds, Michael Cannon. Left guard is senior, 6'3", 290, Roman McCooney. The center, sophomore, 6'1", 270, Fayamani Vaitaki. Junior, right guard is 6'4", 310-pound Colin Nade. And the right tackle is the little guy, senior, 5'11", 240-pound Calvin Allen. Quarterback is Jace Holt. He's in the shotgun for a 2nd and 10. The snap is low. It's on the turf. Holt picks it up, and he's hit immediately. Trayson Lutz in the backfield. Progress stopped. They'll blow it dead back at about the 44. And the sack will be good for a loss of 4. Trayson Lutz on the tackle. Mentioned sophomore quarterback Jace Holt. Running back is senior Dustin Mofo. Wide receivers are Trey Johnson and Ulrich Sutton, along with Coulter Wheelwright. And the slot receiver, the Z receiver, is Armel Kayateri, who just joined the team in the last couple of days. Our starting lineups are brought to you by Zions Bank. More than just your bank, part of your community. 3rd down and 14. We'll give you the rest of the starters in a moment. Holt back to throw. Quick swing out to Mofo. It's dropped. That's a good, smart head by that senior. He went back and picked it up in case it was ruled as a fumble. It's ruled incomplete, and the Eagles will be forced into a punting situation from their own 44-yard line. A 4th down and 14.
Rebels starting defense, Andrew Rex, Jaden Nelson, Jaden Rao, Reagan Huffner up front. Linebackers are Stetson Huffer, Trayson Lutz, Colton Hislop, and Hayden Meek. Cornerbacks, Kyler Wilson, Kason Trineri, and free safety Landon Hunting. Our starting lineups are brought to you by Zions Bank Financial Resources, Wealth Management Solutions, Mortgage Services, and more. A low snap, but they get the punt off, and it ends up being a shorter punt, but takes a Layton Christian bounce to the Rebel 18-yard line. And that's where Rich will take over. So Rich dodged a bullet on a long pass that looked, and it was initially called a completion, but later ruled incomplete. First quarter action, 10:29 left in this first period. Thanks for tuning in. If you caught our pregame show, brought to you by Rolene Kennedy, Rich County's representative at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet. Stetson Huffaker in at quarterback for the Rebels, his first game starting at quarterback. Rich from their own 19-yard line. Huffaker takes the snap from the shotgun. Quick throw out to the left. It's caught by Trineri. Quick pitch, and the man is out in front. Reagan Huffner to the 30, 35. He's caught from behind at the 40 by Coulter Wheelwright. The timing just a little off on that hook and lateral, but it works for about a 23, 24-yard gain out to the 43-yard line. So the Rebels pick up the comprehensive family dental first down. It was initially thrown to Trineri at about the 30. And then the pitch to Huffner took it out to the 43-yard line. That's a 24-yard gain. So Huffner went for 13 yards. Here's the snap. Huffaker pressured, breaks away from a tackle or two, and then he's wrapped up back behind the 40. And the sack. Huffaker just had no time to throw. Coulter Wheelwright in on the tackle. Rebels brought down clear back at the 39. A 4-yard loss. Michael Cannon in on the tackle as well for Layton Christian. No score on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. First quarter is brought to you by the Crawford Trough. Rebels with a trips right, 2nd down and 14. Huffaker back, looking to throw over the middle. He goes for Wilson, and a nice defensive play, reaching around with that front arm. That was a picture-perfect play by the cornerback. Kyler Wilson, the intended receiver, but Flynn Dalton with a great swat pass deflection. That pass may have been just a bit behind Wilson, but either way, it was a great defensive play. Brings up a 3rd and 14 for the Rebel offense. Silva, Huffner, and Hunting wide right. Rebels with one man out left and an illegal shift as a man came out of the huddle too late. Rebels will be penalized 5 yards here, I believe. An illegal substitution is the call, and that's, I said illegal shift. I was mistaken on that. It's a 5-yard penalty for Rich and sets up a 3rd down and 19. Rebels need the Layton Christian 47 to move the chains. Rich with one comprehensive family dental first down so far in this first quarter. No score on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard, 9:18 left in the opening period. Ball near the right hash. Rebels attacking left to right from our view. Huffaker back, looking to throw. Goes deep down the left side, and he had Trineri, but a lot of contact from behind. The pass goes in and out of Trineri's hands. It would have been real close to a first down, but falls incomplete. Rebels come out with a new quarterback playing his first varsity game as a quarterback, and boy, first 3 plays, all running plays. Huffaker gets a snap, low line drive punt toward the sideline, and Ulrich Sutton will let that one roll. Good Rebel roll. Trineri downs it at the 28. That's where Layton Christian will take over 1st and 10. 9:04 left in the first quarter. Layton Christian from their own 28-yard line. They had some things going. They gave it once to Dustin Moffo. He ran 35 yards up the right sideline and moved the chains, but they didn't give it to him again. They tried to get it out to him on a swing pass, but the pass was low and he couldn't hold on to it. 1st and 10. Rebel defense set up, defending the north end zone. Layton Christian ball on the right hash. Trips, 2 receivers right, 2 out wide left. Pistol formation, low snap. Holt scoops it up. Pressure comes, and he is brought down. Trayson Lutz and Deeds in the backfield.
and I think there may have been a miscommunication. Moffo went to the right. Holt turned to his left looking to hand it off, and Moffo wasn't there. So the Rebels bring Holt down back at the 24. A loss of 4, second sack of the day already for this Rebel defense, and Trayson Lutz has been involved in both of them. Maybe your early candidate for McKay Frankham precision play of the game. So a second down, 14 yards to go for the Eagles. Ball at their own 24-yard line, just inside the 24. No score on the Stacey's Repair scoreboard, 8:20 left in the first. Trips to the left this time. And Holt takes the snap, a flag flies in, they whistle it dead, and fortunate for Rich because Moffo had some room to run on that right side. A false start is the penalty. 5 yards. Pushes the Eagles back to their own 19 and sets up a second down and 19 yards to go. Ball on the right hash. This beautiful setting here in Layton. Colors on the hills, the snow on the tops of the mountains. Eagles line up, same formation, trips to the left, Coulter Wheelwright. Dangerous receiver in the slot position left side. Holt takes the snap, turns, and gives to Moffo right side. He'll dance around a little bit, break a tackle or two, wrapped up, and he drives forward to back about the 24-yard line. A decent gain for Moffo on 2nd and long. Brings up a 3rd and long. They'll spot him out at the 25-yard line. A 6-yard gain. He's got 2 carries, 41 yards so far in this game. Again, he hashed the Rebels for 311 yards the last time these teams met a year ago. Had 3 touchdowns. So far this season, he's now well over 1,000 yards on 158 carries, right about 1,050 yards rushing. Coach Drew Jones calls for a timeout on 3rd down and 13. We'll take a quick timeout as well. First quarter action is brought to you by the Crawford Trough on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
If you haven't eaten a famous Crawford Angus burger at the Crawford Trough in Randolph, you haven't lived. It starts with a 1/4 pound Angus beef, pastrami, bacon, pepper jack cheese, and ranch sauce. Add lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and pickles. The only thing that makes it better is when you add an order of home-cut fries and a fresh raspberry shake. Heaven. Stop in and enjoy a burger today. The Crawford Trough, open later on every Rich High home game day. 120 South Main, Randolph.
Welcome back to Layton Christian Academy. No score, first quarter. Teams have exchanged 1 first down and then 3 and outs after that first down. 7:22 left in the Crawford Trough first. Holt in the shotgun, takes the snap. It's a low one, skips off the turf. He picks it up. He's wrapped up as he tries to make something of it. No, that was Dustin Moffo in the backfield, a direct snap. And Lutz mixed up a little bit with Jace Holt and some extracurriculars. No whistles. Referee comes in. The back line judge came in and pushed them apart. Moffo picked up 2 out to the 27. And that'll bring up a 4th down and about 11 for this Layton Christian offense. Some emotions running high at the end of that play, and probably on both sidelines. You can certainly hear some emotion on this Layton Christian sideline. Back to punt this one away. Flynn Dalton. It's a low snap. He was able to turn, get it, but the Rebels bring him down as soon as he scooped it up. A dead ball called. Reagan Huffner scooped it up and ran for 6, but no. The whistle came first. Dalton slaps his own helmet, and Rich will have incredible field position near the 10-yard line on a muffed punt. So Rich will take over. 1st and 10 right at the 10-yard line. First quarter, 6:35 left to go. No score on the Stacey's Repair scoreboard, but the Rebels gifted with excellent field position. Trenary wide to the right. Huffaker with 2 receivers left. Stetson back looking to throw. Quick out for Huffner. He's caught it at the 6 on the right side. Turns and tries to make the corner. Doesn't quite get in. He's brought down about the 2 or 3. And a nice throw by Huffaker to lead Huffner out on that side. On the out, Huffner got all the way down to the 1. And Rich has a 2nd and goal
Huffner with his second reception of the day, 22 yards. Rich trying to hit, get into the end zone. I formation. Huffner, the deep back. Huffaker keeps it himself. He gets a push from Hislop from behind, and he is in. Yes, there's the indication. Touchdown, Rebels. Rebels touchdown is brought to you by Pro Physical Therapy and physical therapist Dr. Dallas Clark. Rebels are on the board. Stetson Huffaker with the 1-yard touchdown run just followed Jaden Nelson into the end zone and got a push from Colton Hislop in the back as well. And the Rebels are on the scoreboard. Rich takes advantage of a muffed punt. And here's your Rich County 4-H extra point attempt. Hunting holds. Huffaker kicks. It's up and through. And the Rebels lead 7-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. First quarter halfway through this first period, brought to you by the Crawford Trough in Randolph.
Light up your world with a custom-built LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign in Evanston. It's a proven fact that signage that lights up creates more attention. So light it up and then add text, images, and video, and your sign becomes even more powerful. Start sharing your advertising messages and information with your customers today. The team at Rocky Mountain Sign provides all types of quality signage that is custom-built and maintained. Call today for a free quote. Rocky Mountain Sign, 307-789-5202. Rocky Mountain Sign, serving customers in Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho.
Well, the Rebels take advantage of a short field, a punt snap that was low, bobbled, then scooped up, and Rebels got great pressure on the punt, brought the man down at the 10, and then had a short field. 2 plays later, after a pass from Huffaker to Huffner, Huffaker runs it in from 1 yard out on a quarterback keeper, and the Rebels kick the extra point through. It's a Rich County 4-H extra point, empowering young people with the skills to lead for a lifetime. Right after the Pro Physical Therapy touchdown, and Rich leads 7-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff. Huffaker with a short one, bounces at the 18. Ulrich Sutton chases it back to the 15 and scoops it up. Tries to go up the middle, tripped up, keeps his feet, and then he's wrapped up, hit hard, still on his feet, out about the 30. Whistles come as Rebels had about 7 guys in wrapping him up. Rich came away with the football. Trayson Lutz had it at the end, but it was blown dead before Lutz came away with the football. So Ulrich Sutton with a decent return of 17 yards as he started from his own 14. Out to the 31, Layton Christian takes over 1st and 10. And we have seen flashes of what could be a very explosive offense, but they haven't consistently put it together yet. 1 receiver wide left, 2 slots on the right side. Snap in the Wildcat. Moffo keeps it himself and picks his way forward across the 35 to near the 42. He thought he never went down. He jumped back up and it was all by himself, but they had blown it dead at the 47, or the 37, excuse me. A 6-yard gain puts him at 49 yards on 4 carries. 2nd down and 4. Jace Holt jogs back out onto the field, the quarterback. Now, we will see that quite a bit today. Holt not on the field or lined up as a wide receiver, sparingly. He's a wide receiver on this lineup as he jogs out to his left. Moffo, the quarterback, again, 2 slots on the right side. Calls for the snap, and he's running right. Cuts upfield, then tries to bounce it back outside. He's hit, breaks the tackle, and he's finally pushed out. A flag flies in on the sideline as the Rebels brought him down right at the 1st down marker and the line to gain. And it will bring up, we'll see what the penalty is. Maybe a hold, maybe it's thrown in the area of maybe a personal, like a face mask or a helmet-to-helmet hit against the Rebels. So at the end of the run was the 42-yard line. 15 yards from there. So the 1st down for Layton Christian. Moffo from the 37 got out to the 42. That was a 5-yard gain. Tacked the penalty on after that, and the Eagles are in Rebel territory. Ball in the right hash. Holt back in at quarterback. Moffo behind him in the pistol. That's shotgun pistol formation. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Holt fakes the handoff. Throws to his right looking for Trey Johnson. The throw was high. Rebels Deeds got some pressure on that side, on that defensive end position. Forced Holt to throw higher than he wanted to. And Trey Johnson couldn't hold on to the pass on the sideline. Brings up a 2nd down and 10 for Layton Christian. Ball in the right hash with the Rebels leading 7-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard.
First quarter action brought to you by the Crawford Trough. They are open later on every Rebel home game day. It's the place to eat and drink. Wish I was going through Randolph on my way home tonight. Get a Crawford Trough Angus burger with pastrami and bacon, cheese. It's delicious. A 2nd down and 10 for the Eagles. The crowd getting into it as they try to get behind their Layton Christian team. Holt again in the pistol shotgun formation, trips left. And some flags fly as Holt looked to the side, looking to maybe change up the play, but it's a false start. Second false start against the Eagles, just 10 yards in penalties in those 2 false starts. That'll push them back to the Rebel 48 and make it 2nd down and 15. Again, they had a first down at the Rebel 43, but an incomplete pass to the sideline, and then the false start. Rebels took advantage of a muffed punt, had a 1st and goal at the 10, and scored in 2 plays to make it 7-0. Holt from the pistol shotgun. Pitch out to the right side, and Huffner busts that up. Maffo slips down as he tries to cut back inside. Great containment by Reagan Huffner, and Maffo's brought down back in Layton Christian territory. They'll spot it at the 47, a loss of 5. Brings up a 3rd and 20 for this Layton Christian offense. Rebel defense playing with some emotion. They were showing blitz on that last play up the left side. The play went up the defensive left side. The play went to the defensive right, but went nowhere. Rebels with 3 down linemen. Jaden Nelson lined up as an extra linebacker. Holt takes the snap, quick throw out. He's got Trey Johnson at the 50, wrapped up, hit at the 45, and brought down about the original line of scrimmage at the 43. A nice little play, the completion by Jace Holt, the 8 yards and a touchdown. Eagles lined up to punt this one away, and again, it's Flynn Dalton to boot it. Dustin Moffel, the long snapper, at least that's what Coach told me. Yep, it is him. Good snap this time, and Flynn gets off a nice boot end over end, bounces at the 5 to the 4, and stops at the 3-yard line. What a boot by Flynn Dalton, and the Rebels are pinned deep. Excellent punt by Dalton. Puts the Rebels back at their own. Now it looks like they'll spot it just inside. Nose of the football is on the 4. So Rich has a long field in front of it. 3:34 left in the Crawford Trough first quarter. Rebels on top 7-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. I want to thank Canyon Pace for running my camera today. Our camera is brought to you by Bear Lake Realty. Visit BearLakeRealty.com for all your real estate needs in the Bear Lake area. Huffaker in his own end zone in that pistol shotgun formation takes the snap. He's got a whole right side, takes it back to the line, but that's all he got, maybe to the 5. A short gain for Huffaker. That hole opened up on the right side, but boy, it closed in a hurry. And Coulter Wheelwright on the initial hit and the tackle. Huffaker picks up 1 to the 5. 2nd down and 9 for the Rebel offense. Ball on the right hash. Wind picking up just a little bit, coming out of the west, blowing toward the mountains. And it's a cold wind, but boy, as light as the wind is, it's 55 degrees. We got a beautiful afternoon. 2 backs in the backfield. Huffaker gives to Hislop. He starts up the middle, then bounces out left side. He's tripped up and dives ahead to about the 8. So that'll be a gain of 2, maybe 3 yards for Colton Hislop on his first carry of the day. But there's a flag back in the end zone. And we'll see what this call is. Likely against the Rebels, unless there was a late hit personal foul. Oh, against Layton Christian. The official has the mic. He just said a personal foul, did not indicate what it was for exactly, but that personal foul will give the Rebels a first down, brought to you by Comprehensive Family Dental and Doctor. So Hislop actually picked up 4. Rich looking to throw again. The out for Huffner, in and out of his hands. Again, perfectly placed. Very good defense by Brighton Hellbach. He was right in position, and that throw just made it over Hellbach's outstretched hands. Huffner couldn't quite hang on. So Stetson Huffaker, 2 of 5, 33 yards, 2 carries, 2 yards, and a touchdown. Rebels lead 7-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Trineri wide right, Huffaker under center, takes the snap, and a quick give right up the gut. A very short gain, if any gain at all, for Hislop out of the I formation. He goes to the 24 to bring up a 3rd and 9. And that was actually Landon Hunting on the carry. The PA man said. We'll go with that. Hunting with 1 yard. 3rd and 9 for the Rebel offense. Rich leads 7-0. They had a short field and scored. They've had a long field here. They're looking to move the chains from their own 25. Huffaker with 3 men to the right, throws left. He's looking for Wilson, and Kyler gets hit early by Coulter Wheelwright. The throw was high, but a flag flies in, a pass interference. Easy call there, as Wheelwright hit Wilson early and kept him from getting up to try and make that catch. So that'll give the Rebels another first down. Pass interference is the call. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Some Layton Christian fans not happy with that call, but boy, from what I could see, that was a pretty easy call to make. First down for the Rebels. Comprehensive Family Dental first down out to the 38. Huffaker from the shotgun takes the snap, pressured. He rolls out to his right, throws, looking for Hunting, and just overthrew him. In fact, Armel Kayateri had the best bead on it, or the best opportunity to try and make the catch. Wondering if they marched off 15 yards on that penalty, because the line of scrimmage was the 23, or the 24. They put it out at the 38. Got me confused there. Second down and 10. Huffaker back again, looking to throw. Quick screen out to the right side. The pass incomplete. Trineri had it in his hands, dropped it. Wouldn't have had much room to run, as Mafo, Kayateri, and Hellbach were all right there ready to lay on the hit had Trineri held on to the pass. So a 3rd down and 10 for the Rebel offense at their own 38-yard line, and Coach Grohl takes a timeout. 7-0 Rebels, 1:54 left. First quarter brought to you by the Crawford Trough. Open later on every Rebel home game, the place to eat and drink. The Rebels took advantage of a short field. It wasn't a Station in Randolph turnover, but pretty close. A low snap that the punter couldn't handle. Bobbled it, dropped it. Rebels got great pressure and brought him down at the 10-yard line to set up a 1st and goal at the 10. Huffaker found Huffner to the 1 on a nice pass, a quick out, and then Huffaker took it in the rest of the way for the Rebels score. We'll take this opportunity to bring you the fan cam. Kenyon, remember the zoom button I showed you? Zoom in on the Rebel fans over there in the bleachers. Fan cam is brought to you by Bear Lake Realty. Visit bearlakerealty.com if you're looking for beachfront, room with a view, a secluded mountain retreat, or any number of timeshare options in the Bear Lake area. bearlakerealty.com. Perfect. Canyon, bring it back out. We're about ready to get going again. On a 3rd and 10, Rebels come out of the timeout. Trips to the right side. 1 receiver left. Huffaker in the shotgun with Hislop on his right hip. Rebels get the whistle, and Nelson makes the snap. Stetson back, looking to throw. Lots of pressure. Heaves it down the left sideline, and Wilson has to come back and play defense. Kyler had a couple of steps on Flynn Dalton, the defender, but Huffaker just couldn't throw it that deep, and Wilson had to come back and knock it away from Dalton to avoid the interception. So the offense becomes defense, and the Rebels are forced into a punting situation. Huffaker gets off a nice high boot. A flag flies in as Ulrich Sutton makes the catch, and he is hit and dropped. Popped by Jaden Nelson, and he just dropped to his pockets. His back pockets. The flag down is near midfield at the 48. That's right where Rich would need to get a first down. Layton Christian, a couple of coaches with their arms out to their sides. And I didn't see any kind of infraction, but obviously the officials did. It was this near side line judge, Layton Christian sideline, that threw the flag. Officials with some discussion about it. Layton Christian offense is on the field. Rebel defense is on the field. A dead ball foul. Illegal participation on the defense is the call against Layton Christian. Now the officials we're going to have to punt this one again. Is illegal participation. Is that going to move the chains for the Rebels? I
If nothing else, it looks like Rich will line up to punt it again, but we'll see what they walk off. I got to admit my ignorance. I don't know what kind of a penalty illegal participation is. I would guess it's in the same vein as false start, illegal procedure, a 5-yard penalty. Looks like that's what they walk off. Illegal participation. A 5-yard penalty. Third Rebel penalty, 25 yards, and Rich will punt it again from their own 43. No, the Eagles will take a timeout first with 1:43 left in this Crawford Trough first quarter. I don't think I've seen this many stoppages in a first quarter, maybe ever in Rebel football. Generally, I'm struggling to get a couple of ads in during the first quarter, but today we are well ahead in this first quarter action. Layton Christian has a couple of first downs in the game. Dustin Moffo with 49 yards on 6 carries. And again, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I apologize. Coach Drew Jones told me Mofo. PA man says Mofo as well, but the woman, one of the coach's assistants, or one of the assistant coaches says it's Moffo. Maybe I'll just bounce back and forth between, what do you think, Kenyon? Moffo or Mofo? Canyon Pace running my camera. Rebels line up to punt this one away again from their own 43-yard line. So Rich will look to pick up an extra 5 yards on this boot. The Eagles with nobody back deep to return. Rich just get this thing off and boot it away and hope for a good bounce. Instead, Layton Christian, they'll send a couple of guys back now late after the whistle. Rebels get the snap off. Huffaker, a high, wobbly spiral, fielded by Ulrich Sutton at the 21. He's got some room up the middle, bounces out to the left, cuts upfield to the 40, to the 45. One man to beat, but he can't beat him. Landon Hunting with a touchdown-saving tackle. And, boy, the Rebels may be wishing they didn't have to punt that one again. Ulrich Sutton clearing to Rebel territory at the 40. Boy, he went all the way from about the 20 to the Rebel 44. And Layton Christian with great field position. First quarter, 1:29 left in this first period. And Sutton, a 36-yard punt return. Ball on the left hash. 2 receivers wide right. Sutton wide on the left side. Trey Johnson the slot on that side. Holt from the shotgun. Turns, fakes the handoff to Moffo, looks right, throws deep right sideline, and Wilson picks it off at the 15 to the 20. Outside left side to the 30, 35. He's got some blockers to the 40, 45, 50. Back into Eagles territory. He's hit and brought down at the Eagles 40-yard line. Kyler Wilson with the interception. His second of the season. And the Rebels turn the tides quickly just like that. A Station in Randolph turnover here for your convenience needs. The Station in Randolph. So Rich takes over after that long interception return. About a 46-yard return. Rich takes over 1st and 10 from the Layton Christian 39-yard line with 1:15 left in the first quarter. 2 receivers left, 1 wide right. Give to Huffner up the middle, nowhere to go. Initially had a little bit of space, and Reagan, such a patient runner, waited for that hole to open up. He's like Le'Veon Bell out there, just patient, stutter steps, uses his feet wisely, but this time doesn't get anywhere. Back to the line of scrimmage, no gain on Huffner's first carry of the day. Rebels lead 7-0 as we close in on the final seconds of this first quarter. Rich got a short field and took advantage of 1st and goal at the 10 after a muffed punt. Huffaker with 2 receivers right, 2 wide left. Hislop in the backfield. Stetson back looking to throw out wide to the right side. He's looking for Trenary, and as the ball is in the air, Kaysen went up high to try and make the catch, and he's hit hard by Brighton Hellbach. Great defense by Hellbach to just hit Trenary and force the incompletion. So Rich faces a 3rd and 10. Huffaker 2 of 8. I was expecting the Rebels to come out and not throw as much, but Huffaker with 8 passing attempts in the first quarter, on pace for 32, 34 passing attempts in the game. 34.8 seconds left, first quarter. Rebels with a trips right, and Stetson again in the shotgun, 3rd and 10.
Huffaker runs right, looking to tuck. He does. Cuts up field. Gets a couple to about the 38, maybe the 37, but not much there for Huffaker. That big defensive line for the Layton Christian Eagles. Trey Johnson on the tackle. The big line slows him down, and then the linebackers come in and clean up. That'll take us to the end of the first quarter, with Rich leading 7-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Our first quarter has been brought to you by the Crawford Trough in Randolph, the place to eat and drink. We'll be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
This is Rich Rebel Senior, Case Engineer, and you're tuned in to the Rich High School Football on Rebel Radio and MyLocalRadio.com.
Bring your vehicle for service at Rocky Mountain Yeti and feel the difference. It's easy. Visit with one of the friendly service riders and then relax and enjoy hot waffles and ice cream. While you relax Yeti style, your vehicle will be worked on by our experienced mechanics. From regular maintenance to major repairs, we do it all. Have your service work done at Rocky Mountain Yeti in Evanston and feel the difference. Get Yeti'd today.
Ooh, yeah.
100 Wasatch Road in Evanston.
A 1-yard gain on that last carry for Huffaker. He's got 3 carries for 3 yards. One of them worth 6 points, though. The Rebels lead 7-0. Rich got a short field on a muff punt and took advantage. 2 plays later, after a 1st and goal, they punched it in. Facing a 4th down and 9. Oh, it should be 3rd down, isn't it? Rebels lined up for a 3rd down. The yard marker says 4th, but it is 3rd. Huffaker looks to throw. He's got Trineri. The pick and lateral again. Huffner's got it at the 30 to the 20. Down the right sideline, 10, and he's pushed out about the 8. I've never seen so many hook and laterals in a season, let alone in a game. That's the 2nd one today, and the Rebels make it work all the way down inside the 10. They'll spot it. Let's see. Yep, right at the 8. That's a 31-yard gain. And again, it was the pass initially to Trineri, and then the give or the pitch to Huffner. 1st and 10, a comprehensive family dental 1st down for the Rebels. Hard count and 2 different Eagles jump. And boy, that's saying something, because I don't know how you do a hard count from a shotgun. You see teams like the Oregon Ducks will line up in the shotgun, and then the quarterback, Herbert, will fake a clap to try and get the defense to jump, and then he'll give the clap on the 2nd one to indicate the snap. But the Rebels make it work somehow. A 5-yard penalty, or down to the 3-yard line on the offsides. Snap, Huffaker cuts up field, then back to the outside, and he's in. Touchdown, Rebels! Stetson Huffaker, a 3-yard touchdown run, his 2nd touchdown scamper of the day. And Rich leads 13-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. That's your 2nd pro physical therapy touchdown of the day, brought to you by physical therapist Dr. Dallas Clark. And Stetson running the option to the left side. The defense was defending the pitch, so Huffaker just cut it up the field, broke a tackle, and he was in. Huffaker to kick the extra point, brought to you by Rich County 4-H, empowering young people with the skills to lead for a lifetime. He hits it wide right, and so the Rebels will settle for a 13-0 lead on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. 11:47 left, 2nd quarter, brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff.
Propane is a byproduct of 2 processes, natural gas processing and petroleum refining. About 90% of U.S. propane is domestically produced and stored in huge salt caverns, which can store 80 million barrels or more of this gas. This quality product is shipped by pipeline, truck, ship, and barge until it reaches T7 Propane in Woodruff. From there, it gets to your home or ranch for your convenience and comfort. Call T7 Propane. Get set up for regular propane deliveries so you don't run out. T7 Propane in Woodruff.
Back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com, where the Rebels lead 13-0. Stetson Huffaker with a pair of touchdown runs, one from a yard out, another from 3 yards out. And Rich leads 13-0. Pro Physical Therapy touchdown brought to you by physical therapist Dr. Dallas Clark. The Rich County 4-H, empowering young people with skills to lead for a lifetime. Extra point. Rich with a Bear Lake Physical Therapy kickoff, already their 3rd of the game. Bear Lake Physical Therapy helping Rebels get back in the game since 1998. It's a short squib kick, bounces out toward the sideline. Live football and just picked up by Sutton at about the 25. Rebels were right there to jump on it, but Sutton with a headsy play to get the football, pick it up, and actually picked up maybe a yard on the kick return. Sutton's been a dangerous return man, had a 36-yard punt return just a few minutes ago, right before Kyler Wilson's interception that set up Rebels' last touchdown drive. 4 plays, 39 yards, a minute 28 off the clock. Extra point was missed, and Rich leads 13-0 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Let me get that back up there for you if you're tuning in online at mylocalradio.com. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Moffo in the backfield, shotgun pistol. Holt takes the snap, gives to Moffo, and he's tripped up immediately. Into the backfield was Bridger Weston, a candidate for your McKay Frankham Dental Services precision play of the game. Great penetration into the backfield. Moffo's last 2 carries have gone for -6 yards. Guys, hey, is it Moffo or Mofo? Moffo or Mofo? Mofo? Thanks. A 2nd down and 11. We've got differing opinions. We'll get his mom's opinion here in a second. Holt back looking to throw over the middle. He's got Coulter Wheelwright. The catch breaks a tackle at the right hash across the 35 to near the 38-yard line. And, boy, when that offense works like that, this is a dangerous offense. That went all the way out to the 38. A 14-yard pass and catch for the first down from Holt to Wheelwright. Coulter Wheelwright, that's his 6th reception of the season for 90 yards. Ball close to the right hash as the Eagles attack left to right at mylocalradio.com. Rich leads 13-0. Rebels showing some stunting, some pressure from the linebacker spot. Give to Moffo. He'll break a tackle and bounce it out to the right side across the 40, 45. Still on his feet, drags a man across the 50 and moves the chains. Dustin Moffo, my goodness. To the 49 of Rich. He broke about 4 tackles, turned on beast mode to move the chains. Moffo had gone for -5 and -1 on his last 2 carries, but he says enough of that. 13 yards and a first down. Into Rebel territory at the 49-yard line. Big offensive line back up there. They average 292 pounds. Holt from the shotgun takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws out to his left. Trey Johnson the catch, but he's immediately wrapped up. Hayden Meek defensively out there on the coverage. Fantastic open field tackle by Meek. That brings Johnson down back at the 50, and that looks, quite frankly, like a generous spot on that tackle by Meek. So a loss of 1 puts Jace Holt 3 of 6, 23 yards. Johnson's 2nd reception. He has 9 receiving yards in the game. 2nd down and 11. 9.5 left. 2nd quarter, brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. For all your propane needs, call 435-793-4208. That's 793-4208. Tight formation with 1 receiver wide left. Moffo the quarterback, Holt wide left, and Rebels have 1 guy out there on him. Moffo takes the snap, runs right, breaks a tackle across the Rebel 45. A late flag flies in as Moffo's brought down at about the 42, maybe the 43. That was a pretty solid gain, 7 or 8 yards for Dustin, the senior. But that flag came in, and we'll wait to see what this is. Maybe it looks like they're talking to Deeds, the Rebel captain. Whether they want to accept the penalty or not is a face mask. I thought that might be the call. It was not a personal foul. It was an inadvertent face mask. Go 5 yards from the end of the play, which was the 43. 5 yards on top of that puts them at the 38 of Rich. So that was a 7-yard gain, and that moves the chains on the penalty. Inadvertent face mask. Moffo again, the quarterback, takes the snap, goes right up the middle, nowhere. Colton Hislop dives into the backfield, wraps up Moffo. No, that was Bridger Weston again. I'm sure Colton would like the credit, but it was Weston on the tackle. And a loss of a yard. little more than a loss, a little more than a yard loss. We'll just count it as a -1. At the 39-yard line, a 2nd down and 11. Rich on top, 13-0. Second quarter action, 8:20 left in the first half. Holt wide to the left side. Trineri isolated on him. Moffo takes the snap, tries to break a tackle, but again, the defensive penetration, and this time it was Colton Hislop in the backfield. He wrapped up Moffo, who broke away from Hislop, but then slipped and couldn't get fully away. Brought down back at the 42. A loss of 3. And the Rebels have this Wildcat-style formation. It seems, now knock on wood, there's plenty here with me, but it seems they've got it figured out. Jace Holt gets the play. He'll jog back into the huddle for a 3rd down and 14. Eagles on the Rebel 42. And Rich on top, 13-0 with 7.5 left in this first half. Trips, no. Quadruple, nope. It is 3 out to the right side. Trips on the right, and a man in motion late. Jace Holt throws deep down the left side, looking for his man, and just can't quite get it to Moffo. He was streaking down the field, had a step or two on his man. The throw just a bit to the outside shoulder, and he couldn't quite make the grab. Boy, that could have been, would have been, had he made the catch, 6 points. Instead, 4th down and 13. Boy, you got a play like that in your playbook. I wouldn't be surprised to see Layton Christian go for it again here. But then again, Flynn Dalton pinned the Rebels deep back at their own 4 with a beautiful punt earlier. And it looks like Coach Drew Jones is thinking the same thing on this play. Incompletion stops the clock, and Rich set up for the punt. But they're going to bring 2 guys short and not even try to field the punt. Wilson and Hunting up closer to the line of scrimmage, about 15 yards off. The punt or the snap is good. It's a low end-over-end boot toward the left side, rolls, and will it make it into the end zone? No, it's going to stop at the 1. Another perfect punt by Flynn Dalton. My goodness, what a boot. And the Rebels are pinned at their own 1. This is a dangerous spot. We saw Rich get pinned here last week against Duchesne, and 1 running play later, the Rebels gave up the safety. So Flynn Dalton showing his worth. Kyle Whittingham of the Utah Utes says good special teams is worth 3 wins a season. Flynn Dalton showing his worth, his value with that punt there. That was excellent. 7:12 left, second quarter. Rebels a 1st and 10 from their own 1. Huffaker looking to throw. Pressure comes. He dances and escapes out across the 5-yard line to about the 6. And whew, that was a nail biter for Stetson Huffaker to escape the pressure. And not only that, he made some lemonade, getting it out to the 7-yard line. A 6-yard run, Rebels' biggest rushing play of the day so far. Huffaker has 5 carries for 12 yards, 2 touchdowns in the game, and the Rebels lead 13-0. 2nd down and 6, or excuse me, 2nd down and 4 after the Rebels picked up 6 on that quarterback scramble by Huffaker. Stetson with Hislop on his right hip, 2 receivers right, 2 left, ball on the right hash. Steps right, looking to throw, then he tucks it and tries to run, breaks a tackle or 2 and gets out near the 10, maybe just shy of the 10-yard line. That was it looked like a designed passing play, but Huffaker, the way he played it, it was a run all the way. They'll spot this at the 9, a gain of 2, and Rich faces a 3rd and short. So that's another positive play. And Rich with a 3rd down and short. 2 yards to go from their own 9-yard line. 2 receivers left, 1 wide right, I formation. Huffaker takes the snap, dives into the line, straight forward, gets out to about the 10, but not much more on the quarterback keeper. So a short gain of 1 yard. To the 10-yard line, a 4th and 1 for the Rebel offense. From their own 10-yard line, I wouldn't expect anything risky here. Maybe a long or hard count at most. Rich leads 13-0, so I think the conservative, the smart thing to do would just be line up, punt it away, not take any risks. Huffaker is the punter, so he'll line up. But he's going to step up to the line of scrimmage. No, it's a shotgun formation. Rebels with trips to the left. Going to try the hard count and a timeout, Rebels. Didn't get the hard count in. Rebels just took a timeout. Second quarter action. Rich up 13-0. 5:07 left to go in the T7 Propane and Woodruff second quarter. We'll be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Serving Wyoming since 1941, Plains Tire is Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer with great locations throughout the state. They'll get you the right tires that offer the best results for your vehicle at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Plus, you can go to any Plains Tire Pro dealer with their nationwide warranty service. And check out their Plains Tire phone app.
Come down and see us at Plains Tires on 157 Bear River Drive for all your automotive needs. Hablamos también español.
Welcome back to Layton Christian. The Rebels took advantage of a muff punt, had a 1st and goal at the 10. They scored on that short drive. And then an interception by Kyler Wilson set up a 1st and 10 at the 39. Rebels scored 4 plays later. Stetson Huffaker with 2 rushing touchdowns, filling in for Jared Anderson out with a concussion, and Rich leads 13-0. Rebels in a punting situation, 4th and 1 from their own 10. And Huffaker takes a good snap and boots it high and deep over the head of the punt return man, but it takes a Layton Christian bounce, then a Rebel bounce to midfield. It was a nice punt by Huffaker from his own goal line out to the 50. And Layton Christian will have decent field position. And again, they can credit this good field position to Flynn Dalton, who pinned the Rebels down at their own 1 with a perfect punt. Now they spot this right at midfield. Second quarter, 4:59 left in this first half, and Rich leading 13-0. The winner of this one keeps themselves alive for a home game in the first round of the playoffs. Now, if Layton Christian wins, they would have to beat Duchesne here next week. If the Rebels win, they would have to beat Altamont next week at home to earn that first round home game in the playoffs. Holt from the pistol shotgun takes the snap, turns, gives to Moffo, bounces right side. He's got some room to the 45, breaks a tackle to the 40, down the right sideline 30, hit hard, still on his feet, steps out at the 25, and then he's hit hard and knocked and brought down to the ground at the 23. They missed that he stepped out at about the 25 or 26-yard line, and they'll give him that couple extra yards to the 23. Either way, it was a big gain for Moffo, and he is tough to bring down. A 27-yard run, so the Rebels had bottled him up. -1, -3 out of that Wildcat formation, but then he busted out for 27 yards and puts his total at 91 yards already in this game on 12 carries. A 1st down and 10 for Layton Christian with 4.5 left to go in the second, and Rich leading 13-0. Moffo the deep back. And the snap, Moffo slips. Ball pops loose as they still tried to give it to him, but I think the Eagles fell on it. Eagles did recover. And Coach Andrew Jones, before the game, he said they had standing water on this field just a couple of days ago. Some good rainstorm. We got some snow up in Evanston and Rich County area. What was it, Wednesday morning we woke up with that snow, Canyon? And looks like no gain on the play. So that snow there was just a little bit of snow here, but a lot of rain, a lot of moisture. And this field is wet. You could see that in Moffo slipping as he tried to plant and take that handoff. So a 2nd down and 10. Again, Moffo behind Holt. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Quick throw right side. Coulter Wheelwright's got the catch across inside the 15 to about the 13, very close to a 1st down. And it looks like the line judge comes in and says, move those chains. Close to the 12-yard line and a 1st down. And an 11-yard gain. Coulter Wheelwright, he's got real quick feet, so he comes out of that cut so fast. Makes it tough for the Rebels to stay with him as he comes out of his cut on that little button hook route. Get the Stacy's Repair scoreboard back up there for you if you're tuned in online at mylocalradio.com. Rebels show pressure up the middle, and Hislop reads it perfectly. He came up the right side, split the gap, and then cut to his left. Moffo got the handoff and tried to bounce out to the right side. Hislop was there to wrap him up and bring him down at the 15, a loss of 3. Rebels bring the pressure, and it pays off. Colton Hislop with another candidate for your Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm, or excuse me, for your McKay Frankham Dental Services precision play of the game. A 2nd down and 13, 2nd down and 12. Yeah, it is a 13. They were at the 12, back at the 15. Moffo again behind Holt. Rebels showing pressure again. Holt throws right side and just deflected at the last second by Kyler Wilson. The pass was intended for Brighton Hellbach. Hellbach has been, he's got 3 receptions, 69 yards. So when he makes the catch, he's gone for big yardage, but just couldn't hold on to it that time after Wilson got a fingertip on it and tipped it out of reach. 3rd down and 13. Layton Christian at the Rebel 15-yard line. Rich on top, 13-0, 2:52 left, first half. Second quarter is brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. Trips left, one man out right is Ulrich Sutton. Holt steps back, looking, throws over the middle for Sutton in the back of the end zone. Caught, touchdown! What a throw by Jace Holt with pressure coming. He throws over the middle, and Sutton adjusted well and made the catch. A 15-yard touchdown. It was really about a 25-yard throw, maybe longer because of Holt's drop back in the pocket. But it goes in the books as a 15-yard touchdown. Ulrich Sutton's first touchdown of the season. Except the snap. The spot is good. The kick is off wide to the right by Palumbo, and the Rebels lead 13-6 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. 2:47 left to go. Second quarter. We'll be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Propane is a byproduct of 2 processes, natural gas processing and petroleum refining. About 90% of U.S. propane is domestically produced and stored in huge salt caverns, which can store 80 million barrels or more of this gas. This quality product is shipped by pipeline, truck, ship, and barge until it reaches T7 Propane in Woodruff. From there, it gets to your home or ranch for your convenience and comfort. Call T7 Propane. Get set up for regular propane deliveries so you don't run out. T7 Propane in Woodruff.
6 plays, 50 yards. No on the extra point. 2 minutes, 8 seconds off the clock. And it's a one-score ball game. Rebels leading 13-6. And again, I'm going to go back to it. That punt by Flynn Dalton that pinned the Rebels at the 1. It's a battle of field position sometimes. And Dalton's punt set up good field position for Layton Christian on that drive where they started from the 50-yard line. And that enabled their score. 6 plays, 50 yards. Layton Christian on the board. Julio or Julio, depending on who you talk to, Palumbo, to kick this one away. He's got a very precise routine. You can see him out there setting up his steps, but it works. In pregame, he was kicking it about 55, 60 yards off the tee. Ball at the 40. He approaches and boots it high and deep off to the left sideline. That bounces on the goal line and into the end zone for a touchback. So Rich will take over from their own 20, 1st and 10. Rebels looking to put together a drive here. They've got 2:47. Ideally, if you're the Rebels, you'd eat up most of that 2:47 and put a score on the board, a little insurance score as you head into the half. Rich will get the football to start the second half. But you got to be careful here because you don't want to give it back to Layton Christian and give them an opportunity to put another score on the board. This is the type of team that with Jace Holt passing and Dustin Moffo running with some dangerous receivers that they can score in a hurry if the Rebels give it back to them. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Huffaker in the shotgun. Hislop on his right hip. Takes the snap. Stetson back looking to throw. Heaves it deep down the right sideline looking for Trineri. He tries to come back to it. A lot of contact on that sideline as both players tried to get to the football. A good, clean defensive stop. Flynn Dalton forces the incompletion. And I tell you, if Huffaker lets that one go a little bit earlier, Trineri had a couple of steps. He had to slow down and try to come back to it, and that's what enabled Dalton to make the play. 2:41 left, second quarter, brought to you by T7 Propane in Woodruff. Make sure to stay tuned for our T-Bar S Body Shop halftime show. We'll talk on our standout student brought to you by the town of Woodruff. We'll talk with Kendall Staple, a junior. Huffaker takes the snap, running the option, looks up the middle, nowhere to go. And he's hit, sandwiched, and brought down about the 22 for a short gain. Poulter wheelwright on the tackle. Now Huffaker gains a couple. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 8, and I imagine Rich will take all the time they can here. Layton Christian has, I think, just 1 timeout left. They used a couple in the first quarter.
Rich up to the line with 2:10 left to go in the second. Huffaker with 2 receivers right, 2 left, takes the snap, looks to throw, rolls right, pressure comes, throws back over the middle. He was hit as he threw, and it's picked off at the 30, to the 20, down the right side. Coulter Wheelwright to the 10, breaks a tackle, 5, and dives for the end zone. Was he in? Touchdown, Layton Christian. Coulter Wheelwright with his second interception of the season. And it's a pick 6. Huffaker was hit as he threw, and that throw went right to Wheelwright. Looks like a Rebel is down. There's a canopy over here. I can't see who it is or what's going on because of that canopy. I can't see who's over there still down, but Coach Glenn Smith and Principal Rick Larson came running across the field to tend to whoever it is. 1:54 left to go in this first half, and an injury timeout. We'll take a quick timeout as well and be right back on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
Sometimes when you're shopping for a vehicle, you're not sure what you want, so you drop by and look at all the options. Other times you know exactly what you want. At Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet, you can call us or schedule a test drive online. We'll have it ready when you get here. We're here to help you get exactly what you want on your schedule. So whether you want to browse or pre-schedule a test drive, Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet is here for you. 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a different kind of dealer.
Once you've visited the Bear Lake Valley, you'll want to come back many more times. Realtor Gary McKee and the team at Bear Lake Realty can show you ways you can own a piece of the lake. Whether you want a summer home, a lot, a quarter share in a home, or a place to live year-round, Gary McKee is the #1 real estate agent in Bear Lake. Visit with Gary today and learn about all the options you have. Bear Lake Realty in Garden City, Utah. Visit bearlakerealty.com.
At Jensen Wood Motor, it's our goal to make sure every customer is a repeat customer. The way we do that, our customers are our friends.
It's our job to help you find what you're looking for at the best possible price. It's always good to know that your salesman is working for you.
We understand that life happens. Sometimes credit isn't perfect. We work hard to find financing options that work best for you.
Stop by today and let's see what we can do for you. Jensen Wood Motors in Montpelier, Idaho.
Well, a Rebel is down on that interception return by Coulter Wheelwright, but it's down in the corner of the end zone. There's a canopy obstructing our view, and nobody here in the press box knows who it is either. I see Denny Rex heading over there, so that tells me possibly
A first down for Moffo. 10.5 seconds left to go. Ball in the right hash. Moffo again, the quarterback. He takes the snap, goes straight up the gut, and he's got some room, tripped up and brought down about the 39. So he goes for about 10 more yards, and that will take us to the half. Time runs out. Layton Christian didn't have any more timeouts. A 10-yard gain for Moffo takes us to halftime, where the Rebels lead by 1, 13-12 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. We'll take a quick timeout and be right back with our halftime show brought to you by T-Bar S Body Shop. Our second quarter has been presented by T7 Propane in Woodruff. For all your propane needs, 435-793-4208.
My name is Dr. Micah Pullins. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Evanston Regional Hospital. I perform total hip, total knee, and total shoulder replacement. The huge majority of patients of mine that have undergone total joint replacement have been dealing with pain and disability for many years. After joint replacement and recovery, patients are back to doing the activities that they want to do.
If you've dreamed of owning your own beachfront property at beautiful Bear Lake, but think you can't afford it, think again, because you can. It's an investment you can rent that pays for itself, and you can enjoy it too. Realtor Gary McKee and the team at Bear Lake Realty can help make your dream come true. Visit with Gary today, because you'll never know unless you ask. Bear Lake Realty in Garden City. Visit bearlakerealty.com.
According to the United States Census of 2010, the town of Randolph has a population of 464 people, and every one of us root for the Rich High Rebels.
Who slams it home?
Welcome to Randolph, Utah. We love being able to host the visiting teams, their coaches, their parents, and fans when Rich High has a home game. We love all of our visitors year-round and hope that you can take some time soon to come and visit us in our little slice of heaven, Randolph, Utah.
What are 2 words that tell the world you had the best time ever? Epic Recreation. That's right. Nothing else compares, and you do it all again. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at Bear Lake. Open year-round, Epic Recreation has everything you need. Boats, sea-doos, paddleboards, kayaks, UTVs, and more. When you want to have an epic vacation at Bear Lake, remember, Epic Recreation equals epic fun. Visit epicrecreation.net.
Welcome to the halftime show, brought to you by T-Bar S Body Shop. Let T-Bar fix your car. The Rebels scored first. They scored twice and led 13-0, but Layton Christian with 12 unanswered points, 2 touchdowns, but 2 mixed extra points have the Rebels on top, 13-12 at the half. We'll be right back with first half highlights presented by Rich County after this on Rebel Radio, KDQ FM 98.3, with live streaming video at mylocalradio.com.
I think another good name for Matt Rex, the owner of T-Bar S Body Shop in Evanston, would be the Anger Eraser. I came out to the parking lot to find a ding and scratch. I was so angry, I went to T-Bar S Body Shop to get a quote and met Matt Rex. He said they would fix it, and he'd even talk to my insurance company. When I picked up my car, it looked great. No stress, no hassle. Matt's friendliness and quality service erased all my anger. When your car gets bunged up, don't get angry. Just let T-Bar fix your car.
Dr. Dog, the other day I was at the dog park and ran into Keegan, the Irish setter from up the road. When we smelled hello, I was surprised because he smelled like delicious roasted duck. When I asked if he'd been hunting, he said nein, he had been to see you.
Yes, Mr. Hans German Shepherd, I'm recommending Canine Superfood Advance from PetMinerals.com for all my canine patients. The powder mixes with your dog food to create a delicious duck-flavored gravy. Order your Superfood Advance from PetMinerals.com today.
Welcome back to the T-Bar S Body Shop of Evanston halftime show. Let T-Bar fix your car. Well, Andrew Rex injured. We'll see if we see him again. Not sure how he's doing. Trayson Lutz went down, and the word is, I mean, he's still out on the sideline laying down. The rest of the Rebel team is down under the scoreboard, where the Rebels lead 13-12. But Lutz, the word is that they've called an ambulance to carry him somewhere to get further diagnosed, and that's not good news. We'll wish the best for Trayson and hope the Deeds is okay as well. I see Ander sitting back there with the team helmet off, pads still on here at the half, where the Rebels lead 13-12. Some first half highlights presented by Rich County. Rebels with a championship cause. Both teams got first down and then punted on their first 2 possessions. Then Layton Christian had it deep in their own territory and muffed a punt. The snap was low. It wasn't picked up cleanly. The Rebels got great pressure and tackled Dalton back at the 10 to take over on downs. And Rich took advantage of that short field. They had a 1st and goal at the 10. Huffaker found Huffner on a quick out to the 1, and then Huffaker did the rest on 2nd down, a 1-yard touchdown run. He got a push from Colton Hislop for the score. Extra point was good. Rebels led 7-0. A couple of punts later, the Rebels gave it to Layton Christian, and the Eagles had a great punt return to the Rebel 44. Then a pass by Jace Holt was picked off by Kyler Wilson, returned about 46 yards to the Layton Christian 39, and the Rebels offense did the rest. 4 plays later, Huffaker had his 2nd touchdown of the day, a 3-yard touchdown run. To put the Rebels up 13-0. They missed the extra point, and that's where it settled. A few possessions later, Layton Christian got on the board. They had pinned Rich deep on a perfect punt by Flynn Dalton that pinned Rich at the 1. Rebels got out from their own goal line to the 10 and then punted it away, but Layton Christian had good field position from the 50. They went 6 plays, 50 yards, 2 minutes, 8 seconds, and Jace Holt on a 3rd down and long found Ulrich Sutton 15 yards in the back of the end zone for the score. Then the Rebels' next possession, the pass was intercepted. Stetson Huffaker hit as he threw, and Coulter Wheelwright intercepted it and returned it 35 yards for the score. Layton Christian 0 for 2 on extra point attempts, so Rich leads 13-12 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Some quick stats for you. Huffaker filling in for Jared Anderson with the concussion. 5 of 13, 71 yards, 1 interception, 8 carries, 17 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rebels, Reagan Huffner, 3 receptions, 43 yards. Kason Trineri, 3 receptions, 26 yards. Dustin Moffo, 108 yards on the ground on 15 carries in that first half. Jace Holt, 5 of 10 for 49 yards and a touchdown. Make it 5 of 11 as he had an interception as well. And statistically, that's about it. Coulter Wheelwright, couple receptions for 25 yards, but the Rebels lead 13-12 at the half. First half highlights have been brought to you by Rich County, Rebels with a championship cause. When we return on the T-Bar Body Shop of Evanston halftime show, we'll visit with this week's standout student, Kendall Staple. Brought to you by the town of Woodruff. Mayor Scott Sabie, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson with Secretary or Clerk Lisa Bell. We'll be right back with that on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. Again, at the half, the Rebels lead 13-12 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard.
Ever since 1871, when Joseph C. Rich surveyed the town site, the town of Woodruff has been a thriving ranching community. Settlers were attracted by the broad valley and green grasses, the mountain trout in the streams, the elk and deer herds in abundance, and the neighbors were friendly. That's how people still are today. Visit Woodruff, and you too will experience that friendliness. It's everywhere. It's the town of Woodruff, Utah, where we're proud of our rich rebels.
Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston is Rich County's representative. As a mother and grandmother of Rich High graduates and current students and a longtime resident of Randolph, Rolene is familiar with your needs and will work to provide you with the best customer service in the industry. The next time you're looking for a new car or truck, think Rolene Kennedy at Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston. We're a different kind of dealer.
Play hard and go Rebels.
Ryan Steineckert with junior Kendall Staple at Rich High School. Kendall, thanks for your time today.
Thanks for having me.
How's your junior year going?
Pretty good.
Tell me more. Pretty good.
I don't know what. It's just pretty good.
Tell me what you're involved with.
Volleyball right now at the moment, then just classes.
What classes?
I have college classes, which is like American history, biology, and TEAL, which is like a teaching class. And then I just have the high school classes, language arts and math.
You going to get the associate's degree?
I plan on it.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you know what you want to go into after Rich High School?
I wanted to go into nursing, but now I'm not really sure.
So why did you think you wanted nursing, and what changed your mind?
It just kind of was a career that I was interested in. My grandma was a nurse, and I don't know, I just loved it. But then I kind of decided maybe I don't like blood, so I don't know.
Nurses kind of have to be able to be okay with blood, right?
Yeah, they probably see some gruesome things, so.
Is there anything else that you're thinking, oh, maybe this, maybe that?
I kind of want to be an airplane pilot.
Interesting. Have you ever flown or been in a cockpit?
Nope.
Have you ever been in a plane?
Nope.
So what's pulling you toward that?
Just seems like a really fun career, and I mean, you're driving a plane, seeing the world. So.
All right, Kendall Staple, never been in a plane, but wants to be an airplane pilot. Kendall, how's the volleyball season going?
It's going pretty good, I think. I don't know, we're doing all right.
The Richfield tournament, the word is going around that you had a lot of fun at that tournament. What made it so much fun for you?
I think just going out there with my teammates. I don't know, I love to be on the court with my teammates. I love just everything with them. I love their successes as much as I love my own. And we had our JV team, we had so many successes, and the girls were just happy, and that's what I wanted.
You were jumping back and forth between the varsity tournament at the Sevier Valley Center and the JV tournament at Richfield High School.
Yes, I was.
Did you ever at some point go like, can I just stay at one place and not play so many matches? Or did you ever get tired?
I got tired, but I just kept in my mindset, it's reps. And the more I touch the ball, the better I'm going to get. So.
How did the JV team finish?
We went into the gold bracket and ended up getting third.
And then the varsity, for you, now and we know how the varsity finished out, lost to Milford in that final match in the copper bracket, but how do you feel like the varsity played?
I think we played all right. We probably could have done a little bit better than we did, but I think that our stats were a little bit better. We passed a little bit better than we usually have. Our girls, we served great, and we've been struggling with serving, so I think they overall did.
Did you say you served great, like cut down on the service errors a bunch?
Yeah, a couple of the stats, we had like 23 missed serves, and we really cut down on that.
Hey, now, you're going to have to be better again, right, this week. You've got Duchesne on Thursday, Manila Friday, Tabby on a Saturday. 2 of those are region matches you need to win.
Yeah, we definitely got to keep our game up so we can win.
When you guys played at Duchesne, tell me about that match and how you guys won.
I think that we just played a good game. Our girls were together, we were having fun, and I think that was what got us up.
I think outside the program, a lot of us think about, okay, Friday's a region match with Manila. You got to win that one. Then it's Tabby. You got to win. How much do you girls on the team think about region matches and must win and playoff seeding, all that kind of stuff?
I don't think about it a lot. My teammates, I don't think they really think about it a lot unless Coach Stewart says, oh, this is a region match. We got to win it. Then we kind of put in the mindset, we've got to win it.
Is it mostly just the mindset of, you know what, we're playing hard, we're going to keep working hard, and we're going to try to win every match regardless of it's a region match?
Yeah, that pretty much is it. We just go out there, we're going to say we're going to play our best game. However we come out is how we come out.
Kendall, that kind of negates the need to ask any other questions concerning state tournament and playoff seeding and the playoff bracket and stuff like that. You guys aren't really concerned about that. It's just one match at a time, try to win.
Yeah, pretty much. Just chisel by chisel.
Chisel by chisel?
Yeah, chisel by chisel.
What is that? Is that a phrase you got from your dad in the coal mine or something?
It is actually a phrase that I got from that speaker, Braxton. He came up and he said that you just got to go things chisel by chisel, and eventually you're going to get something beautiful.
Kendall, let's get back to your junior year. Do you have academic goals for yourself?
I just want to pass. Still. Stay on Honor Society.
This interview is we call it Standout Student when we play it during the halftime show of the football game. So to hear, I just want to pass, made me a little nervous. But then Honor Society, so you're obviously doing a lot better than just passing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Kendall, anything else that you're involved with? You play basketball, and then do you do something in the spring? Any activities?
I do track and then just spring volleyball.
Not to take focus away from volleyball, but are you looking forward to basketball? You're not playing basketball this year?
I'm still trying to decide. I don't know.
I started to put you on the spot.
It's all good.
And then will you do the musical?
No musical.
Anything else that you are involved with? Any hobbies you have outside of school or things you like to do?
Just live life.
What's the best thing about being a Rich Rebel?
Everything. The spirit that we have for our school and just the people around and the people involved.
Junior Kendall Staple at Rich High School, thanks for your time. Good luck this weekend with volleyball and the rest of the school year. I look forward to taking a flight one day and hear this is your captain, Kendall Staple, speaking one of these days.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Kendall. That Town of Woodruff Standout student is brought to you by Mayor Scott Sabie, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with clerk Lisa Bell. Ambulance is here for Trayson Lutz, and we'll hope that he's okay. We'll find out more later on. In the meantime, we'll wrap up our halftime show, the Town of Woodruff Standout student. And the halftime show is brought to you by T-Bar S Body Shop. Let T-Bar fix your car. Back right after this, the third quarter action on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Most of our limits we have in life come from the walls in our own mind. The Town Council and citizens of Lake Town, Utah celebrate all students and staff in the Rich School District. Learning and education will help make that wall in your mind shorter, so it is easier to jump over. We encourage every student to reach their full potential through hard work, continued education, and focus.
When you hit the bullseye playing darts, it's a great thing. When a rock hits your windshield and creates a bullseye, it's a bad thing. A small bullseye in your windshield can grow into a monster crack that covers the whole window. T-Bar S Body Shop in Evanston fixes rock chips. If the rock chip in your windshield has already grown into a giant crack, T-Bar S Body Shop can fix that too. When it comes to window repair or replacement, make sure you always hit the bullseye. Let T-Bar fix your car. Call us today, 789-2639.
Trayson Lutz, the ambulance is here, but there's not field access to get it out across the field, and the street side is where we are. You're looking at, if you're watching online at mylocalradio.com, you can see out over across the field. They've taken a gurney over there, and they're lowering it down to get Trayson up onto there. And again, we just hope the best for Trayson, that he's okay and that has a quick recovery. Now looking across. Have you seen Deeds lately? He's up in the bleachers, and he's got his helmet on, pads still on as we get set for this second half of football action. The Rebels lead 13-12 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Our halftime show has been brought to you by T-Bar S Body Shop. Let T-Bar fix your car. Given a little bit extra time here at the half to get Trayson taken care of. In the meantime, let's recap. In case you missed it this week, the Rebel Cross Country team competed at the Region Cross Country meet on Tuesday morning. The girls took first at the region. Lauren Thompson won first individually, Grace Walmsley second, Emily Willis third. On the boys' side, they took second as a team. Jaden Ward individually, the freshman for the Rich Rebels, took second place. And again, a region title for the girls and a region runner-up for the boys. They'll compete at state this coming Wednesday, I believe. Let me double check. That's when that is. Yeah, state cross country meet Wednesday at Sugar House Park in Salt Lake City. The girls race at 10, the boys at 11:30, and we wish those runners the best of luck. Volleyball action last night. The Rebels beat Duchesne in 5. It was a tight, fun, exciting match, and the Rebels won that final set. A come-from-behind victory after Duchesne jumped out to a 3-0 lead. The Rebels came from behind and won to beat the Eagles 3-2. Rebels today, the freshmen hosted Evanston and won in 4, 3-1. Rebel JV team taking on Manila right now, and the Rebels took the first set 25-4. Goodness gracious. That's a dominant victory. Volleyball, if the volleyball team can win against Manila today and then beat Tabiona tomorrow, the Rebels would take a number 2 seed into the state tournament. And looking at the bracket and how it looks like things will shake out, that's a pretty good spot to be in. Definitely better than on the other side of the bracket with Panguitch, the favorite to win the state title. So Rebels hosting Manila today, JV in the second set currently. Here at Layton Christian, things starting to cool off a bit. The sun going down behind us. I mean, that's still a couple of hours away, maybe not quite that long, but We are now in shade as the sun has gone down behind a tree. And boy, it dropped temperature real quick, just that fast as the sun dropped behind that tree. Temperature here in Layton, my app says 54 degrees. Not really any kind of a breeze on a beautiful afternoon in Layton, Utah. Trayson Lutz on the gurney. He's being wheeled across. And again, we wish the best for Trayson and hope he recovers quickly and that this is nothing serious. You get out and play a game of football, you're going to expect some bumps and bruises, some dings and dents and things like that. But when something like this happens, it gives you a little bit of a scare. And again, we just hope the best for Trayson Lutz. Ander Rex, the PA man, said a hand for Ander Rex. We should tell him that's actually Trayson Lutz. Ander Rex is still on the sideline. Trayson Lutz. 23. Number 23. Rex got his bell rung earlier and was down for quite a while, but he is up. He's on the sideline, still has his helmet and pads on. And let me just... Rebels about to receive this opening kickoff to start the second half. And Julio Palombo running through, walking through his routine to get set up for the kickoff. He gets the whistle and he crouches down. He'll approach. He gets a full head of steam going as he approaches and boots this one deep. Wilson will field it at the 7, running forward. He's got a block in front of him, and that block is nailed. The flag flies in. That was a low helmet-to-helmet contact. That may be a targeting. Wilson had nowhere to go. He had a lead blocker, but that lead blocker was hit hard. A helmet-to-helmet hit. Wilson went down hard as well at about the 18. A short return, but I think we're going to have a helmet-to-helmet, personal foul against Layton Christian. And that's their second helmet-to-helmet hit today. Nothing else. Rebels 1st and 10. That was Kason Trineri who took the hit on that targeting. A couple of years ago, that would have just been a nice hit on a kick return, but not anymore. Huffaker in the shotgun. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Ball on the right hash. Huffaker takes the snap, throws to Trineri. He's got him at the 30, and Kason bottled up, loses a yard. Didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. That quick screen pass is not going to be effective. Huffaker, it just takes a little bit too long for him to catch the football, get it in his hand how he needs it, and then make the throw. It has to be quicker than that. We've seen it a couple of times, and that's the first time it was completed. But again, it's just too long of a process to get that in his hands, situated on the stitches and thrown. Huffaker takes the snap, gives left side, and nowhere to go for, I think it was Huffner on the carry. Nope, Colton Hislop with a loss of a couple. Layton Christian coming out with a lot of emotion to the 28-yard line, a loss of 2. Huffaker, or Hislop rather, with 3 carries for 4 yards in the ball game. And the Rebels face a 3rd and 13 from their own 28-yard line. The Eagles have come out with a lot of emotion and the momentum. The Rebels had a 13-0 lead, but the Eagles scored twice in the final 5 minutes. Actually, in the final 3 minutes of that first half. Huffaker back looking to throw. Little ball fake, then heaves it deep down the sideline. He's got Trineri at the 50. Diving catch. He makes it across midfield at the Layton Christian 43. Trineri a bit slow to get up. He may have just gotten the wind knocked out of him. The line judge comes in and says, "You okay?" I saw Kason give a nod of the helmet. And a great toss, an even better catch by Trineri. They'll spot it at the 44 of Layton Christian. That's a 28-yard completion. Trineri's 5th catch of the day. He has 53 receiving yards. Came into the game with 21 catches for 278 yards. 13.8 yards per catch. Huffaker at 98 passing yards. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Shotgun pistol. Hunting comes in motion. The snap gets past Huffaker, and the Eagles fall on it in Rebel territory. It slipped through Huffaker's hands as he wanted to make the catch on the snap and give a quick handoff to Hunting. It was a timing play, so it needed to happen quick. But he didn't bring the ball in on the snap. And the Rebels turn it over on the fumble. Eagles will take it over at the Rich 49. Good field position with 9:53 left in this third quarter. Brought to you by the town of Randolph. Good luck from Mayor Lynn Weston, board members Sim Bell, Brian Wires, Larry Kennedy, Melanie Lim, and clerk Lana Peart. A 1st and 10 for Layton Christian at the Rebel 49-yard line after a fumble. Jace Holt wide to the left. Dustin Moffo in the backfield. Wildcat formation with 2 blockers, 2 slot receivers right side, and 3 big linemen left side. Moffo takes a low snap, breaks 1 tackle, wrapped up by Hislop, and he won't get away from Colton at the 41. A gain of 7, maybe 8 yards by Moffo off the left side. Looks like they'll spot this at the 42-yard line. So Moffo goes for 7. He has 115 yards. Excuse me. On 16 carries. A 2nd and 3 for the Layton Christian offense. They've scored 12 unanswered after the Rebels led 13-0 early. Moffo again, the quarterback in the shotgun. Low snap. He goes down and gets it. Makes 1 man miss. 40 around the left side to the 30. Still on his feet. He's finally lifted up and driven down inside the 30-yard line, about the 28. A gain of close to 14 yards. They'll spot it at the 28. And the Eagles move the chains. Moffo starting to rack up the yards, 129 yards on 17 carries. Eagles knocking on the door at the Rebel 28-yard line. In for Trayson Lutz looks like sophomore Jaden Grohl at the outside linebacker position. Rebels showing some pressure up the middle. Moffo again takes the snap, dances right side, breaks 1 tackle, won't break another at the 25. And they'll give him a nice spot at the 24. He was about at the 26 when the whistle blew. He kept driving and got a couple extra yards after the whistle. So a 4-yard gain for Moffo on that carry. Eagles outgained the Rebels in that first half, 149 yards to 91 yards of offense. Rich 67 through the air, 24 on the ground. They picked up a big chunk of yardage through the air, but then fumbled it away in their first possession of the second half. Moffo again, Wildcat. He runs to his right. Deeds is held up and driven to the ground. No flag flies in, but Moffo is bottled up. Rich got some good containment outside the containment. Boy, you could see Deeds' arm being held back, and the Whitecap official was right there. Not sure why he didn't throw the flag, but the Rich defense held strong anyway. And they spot Moffo back at the 28-yard line, a loss of 4. 3rd down and 10 for the Eagle offense. Looking to take their first lead of the day if they can keep this drive going. Rebels on top 13-12 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Moffo again with Holt wide to the left side. Rebels showing some pressure up the middle. Moffo goes up the middle, gets a block, breaks a tackle to the 10, or no, to the 15 before he's wrapped up and brought down. Deeds on the tackle. Moffo moves the chains to the 12. A 16-yard gain right up the gut. Now spotted at the 11, so a 17-yard gain. Moffo with almost 150 rushing yards. And this Wildcat formation has been their exclusive formation on this drive. Ball in the middle of the field, 1st and 10 at the Rebel 11. Moffo takes the snap up the gut, dances forward, and then dives into the line and gets inside the 10 to about the 9, a short gain. Late in that first half, the Eagles were trying to run this Wildcat, and it looked like the Rebels had figured it out. But, boy, the Eagles have come out, made some adjustments at the half, and they are moving the football with Moffo. taking the snaps. A 2nd down and 7. They can get a first down at the Rebel 2. Moffo takes the snap, again, right up the middle. Breaks one tackle. He's wrapped up and pulled back. Got down to about the 7. Under 6 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter, brought to you by the town of Randolph. Rebels jumped out to a 13-0 lead. Eagles scored 12 unanswered in the 2nd quarter. A 2-yard gain to the 7. And that puts Moffo at exactly 150 yards by my count, my stats. Zoom that in a bit, Canyon. A 3rd down and 5. Moffo takes the snap, running right, and it's kind of a zone block, and he picks where he wants to go. Rebels stuff it this time, though. Moffo gets to the 6, 1-yard gain. That'll bring up a 4th and about 4. A big 4th down here. I imagine the Eagles will go for it. Julio Palumbo is 0 for 2 on extra points, but Coach Jones showing some confidence in him here. They'll set up to kick the field goal. It would be a 24-yard kick if Palumbo can boot it through, and it looks like he did. The spot was good, the snap was good, the hold was good, and Palumbo knocks it through. A 24-yard field goal gives Layton Christian their first lead of the day, 15-13 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. 4:39 left in the 3rd, and we'll be right back on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
According to the United States Census of 2010, the town of Randolph has a population of 464 people, and every one of us root for the Rich High Rebels.
Who slams it home?
Welcome to Randolph, Utah. We love being able to host the visiting teams, their coaches, their parents, and fans when Rich High has a home game. We love all of our visitors year-round and hope that you can take some time soon to come and visit us in our little slice of heaven, Randolph, Utah.
Nine plays, 43 yards, a 24-yard field goal by, forgetting the first name, Julio Palumbo. And a 24-yard field goal, 5 minutes, 14 seconds off the clock. Most of the yardage on that drive before Palumbo's field goal was running yards by Dustin Moffo. He's got 151 yards on the ground. Palumbo to kick this one away to the Rebels. Trenary and Hunting back deep to return. It's a squib kick, and Trenary scoops it at the 16. Across the 20, dances to the 23, and too many Eagles there. A short return for Trenary, but decent field position. Rebels will start from their own 24. Rebel volleyball team in action. The JV won their first set 25-4 against Manila and took set 2 25-13. Trenary with the return. We'll give him 8. 1st and 10 for the Rebels at their own 24-yard line, trailing 15-13 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Eagles with their first lead of the ball game. Rebels scored the first 13 points, but it's 15 unanswered. 3 scores in a row for Layton Christian. 2 in the 2nd quarter, 1 here in the 3rd. Good job by the Rebel defense to hold Layton Christian to just a field goal on that last drive. Huffaker takes the snap, runs to his left, wrapped up as containment brought him down. The pitch relation was off on that, what I thought was an option. Huffaker had nowhere to pitch that to the pitch man. Maybe there wasn't a pitch man. Maybe it was just a quarterback keeper all the way to the left side, but Huffaker brought down about 8 yards deep. 7-yard loss. Back to the 17-yard line. That puts Huffaker at 9 carries for 10 yards in the game. 2 touchdowns. And the Rebels need to pick up some comprehensive family dental first downs. Trenary wide to the right side. Huffaker in the shotgun. 1 receiver left. Stetson takes the snap. Ball fakes. And then he's hit hard. The ball pops loose, and Layton Christian has it. Rebels with 2 possessions in this second half, 2 fumbles, and Layton Christian has a 1st and 10 at the Rebel 12. Epic Recreation keys of the game, had I had a little more foresight, would have been take care of the football, win the turnover battle. They'll spot it at the Rebel 14-yard line. 3:42 left to go, third quarter, brought to you by the town of Randolph. Rebels had everything going their way through the first quarter and a half. Led 13-0, but it's been all Layton Christian since then. The Eagles, 3 unanswered scores, and they're knocking on the door. Following that Rebel fumble, Mafo takes the snap on the quarterback, the Wildcat keeper, breaks the tackle, drives forward to the 11. A 3-yard gain for Mafo. Zoom that in a little more. So a 2nd down and 7. Eagles can move the chains if they get to the Rebel 4. Similar situation the Eagles had on their last possession. They got down inside the Rebel 10. The drive stalled, and Palombo kicked a 24-yard field goal. Mafo again, the quarterback, takes a snap low to his left, starts left, then goes right, and he's wrapped up, but keeps his feet. Huffaker wrapped him up, and Mafo gets down inside the 10 to about the 8. We'll see where they spot it exactly for 3rd down and short. They spot that at the 8-yard line, so a 3-yard gain. Brings up a 3rd down and 3. Jace Holt brings in the play, and we'll see where he lines up. He's been lining up as a wide receiver, more of a decoy than anything, as Mafo has not attempted a pass, and he's lined up again as the quarterback. Holt wide left. Trenary better be on his toes. Dustin takes the snap, starts left, goes right, up the middle, and inside the 5 to about the 4. This will be very close. It will be a 1st down. And Mafo needed 4. He got about 4.5. And the Eagles have a 1st down inside the Rebel 5, a 1st and goal. Eagles lead 15-13, and this is where that big offensive line of the average of 6'2", 292 pounds can really come in handy, as those big boys just need to, they really don't even need to get much of a push, but just to get in the way, and then Mafo can just read where a hole opens up. He's got great vision. He hits the hole hard and runs extremely well. Takes the snap, but a whistle. I think Coach Jones was asking for a timeout before the snap, and I think he got it. Yeah, he did. We'll take a quick timeout as well. 1:54 left in the third quarter. Eagles on top 15-13 on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
According to the United States Census of 2010, the town of Randolph has a population of 464 people, and every one of us root for the Rich High Rebels.
Who slams it home?
Welcome to Randolph, Utah. We love being able to host the visiting teams, their coaches, their parents, and fans when Rich High has a home game. We love all of our visitors year-round and hope that you can take some time soon to come and visit us in our little slice of heaven, Randolph, Utah.
The Rebels again scored the first 2 touchdowns. A couple of runs by Stetson Huffaker, one of a yard, one of 3 yards. They had a real short field on their first possession and another short field on their second touchdown drive. So it was 13-0, but since then, it's been all Eagles. They scored twice in the second quarter. Going into half, the Rebels led by one point, 13-12. Rich has had 2 possessions in this second half, and they've fumbled twice, setting up the Eagles with great field position. This last drive started at the Rebel 14, or this current drive. It's 1st and goal inside the 5. Give to Mafo, big hole right side. He's in. Touchdown, no problem. Almost untouched. He gave a straight arm as he crossed the goal line, and the Eagles push the lead out to 22-13, make it 21-13. We'll see if they go for the extra point. Either way, it's a 2-score game if they can convert the extra point or the 2-point conversion. Mafo with his first rushing touchdown of the day. He has 4 or 27 carries, 165 yards, and a touchdown. Now that contrasts that, the Rebels have done a better job against him than they did last year when he ran for, let's see, what did he have? 28 carries for 311 yards. But still, he's done his damage, 165 yards on the ground and that touchdown. Eagles line up to go for it here. No surprise, as Mafo is the man in the quarterback spot, wildcat position. Rebels showing some pressure up the middle. Mafo takes the snap, runs right, and he is in. 2-point conversion is good. Eagles push the lead out 23-13. It's a touchdown and a field goal lead for the Layton Christian Eagles. 23-13 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Third quarter is brought to you by the town of Randolph.
This is Rich Rebel Senior Landon Hunting, and you're watching Rich High School Football on Rebel Radio, KADQ FM 98.3 and MyLocalRadio.com.
Sometimes when you're shopping for a vehicle, you're not sure what you want, so you drop by and look at all the options. Other times you know exactly what you want. At Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet, you can call us or schedule a test drive online. We'll have it ready when you get here. We're here to help you get exactly what you want on your schedule. So whether you want to browse or pre-schedule a test drive, Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet is here for you. 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a different kind of dealer.
Well, the Rebels fumbled it away. Layton Christian took over at the Rebel 14. It took 4 plays, a minute 52. Dustin Mafo runs it in from 4 yards out. Then he converts the 2-point conversion, and the Eagles lead by 10, 23-13 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Rich set to return this kickoff. Momentum with the Eagles right now on their home field. Palumbo, high and deep boot. Trineri goes back, lets it go over his head and into the end zone for the touchback. And the Rebels need to find some emotion, some excitement, and try to shift the momentum here. Let's see if they can get that going on this drive, and that'll start if Rich can take care of the football. 2 possessions in this second half, 2 fumbles. And if you go back to the first half, the last 3 Rebel possessions have ended, or the last 4 have ended in a pick 6, a 3-and-out, a fumble, and a fumble. Rich has got to find some success offensively here. Hayden Meek and Kason Trineri wide right, Huffaker in the shotgun, Hislop on his right hip. Takes the snap, looks, throwing the screen. It's tipped up in the air and almost picked off. Boy, that was a big play by Big Colin Nade. A late flag flies in as Nade will be hit with unsportsmanlike conduct, I believe, for celebration and maybe taunting, maybe one or the other. But that flag flew in from the back line judge, and that'll help the Rebels out. That's going to be some kind of taunting or unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Layton Christian. Nade had read the screen well, and he got up high for a big man. That is unsportsmanlike conduct. After the play, 15 yards, that's 80 yards in penalties against Layton Christian. Gives the Rebels a comprehensive Family Dental first down. Huffaker throws deep down the right side, looking for Trineri. He's held up, doesn't get the flag. And the pass falls incomplete. Brighton Hellbach on the coverage. So Huffaker with the incompletion is 7 of 17 for 98 yards. Second down and 10, Rebels offense. Rich trailing 23-13 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. Third quarter action, 1:39 left to go in the third. And third quarter is brought to you by Town of Randolph. Huffaker from the shotgun takes the snap, throws right side, or throws to his left, and nobody there. It looked like they were trying to set up the quick screen for Kyler Wilson, and the throw was way over his head. It was almost like Huffaker was throwing for Landon Hunting, who was blocking out near the sideline, and Wilson was coming in toward Huffaker. Rebel JV volleyball team beats Manila in 3, 25-4, 25-13, 15-6. Varsity was scheduled to start at 6:30. That may start a little bit early. Trineri wide right. Tight end on the right side is Meek. 2 receivers left. Huffaker takes the snap, looks, throws. He's got almost picked off. Rebels tried to go to the well one too many times, and Brighton Hellbach read it, stepped in front of what was Rebels were trying to set up again, the hook and lateral, and Hellbach knocks it down in and out of his hands. So Rebels facing a 4th and 10. Rich, 4 straight passing plays, 4 straight incompletions, and the Rebels force a punt. Huffaker drops the snap, then gets it away. He's hit. No flag. It's at least a running into the kicker. The punt takes a Rebel bounce down to the 21. The Whitecap official started to reach for his flag and then decided differently and left it in his pocket. Running into the kicker would have been just 5 yards and not a first down. Either way, Layton Christian has the football. 3rd quarter, time running down, 1:21. That was a short possession for the Rebels, just 29 seconds. Layton Christian takes over 1st and 10 from their own 21-yard line. And we'll see if they go right back to what has worked so well the last couple of possessions. No. Jace Holt back in at quarterback position with Moffo behind him. 2 receivers right, 2 wide left. Take the snap, get to Moffo. Huge hole left side. He's out to the races, across the 40, down the right side, left sideline. Breaks a tackle to the 20, to the 10, 5. Touchdown, Dustin Moffo. 79 yards for the score. And Layton Christian extends its lead. Moffo broke a couple of tackles and then just broke it wide open. 2nd touchdown of the day for Moffo. And he's at 244 rushing yards in the game after that 79-yard run. 1 play, 79 yards, 11 seconds. Palumbo, the extra point this time is good. Layton Christian has it all working, and the Eagles lead 30-13 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. We'll keep it right here rather than taking that timeout. Boy, Moffo's got the speed, he's got the strength, the broken tackles, yards after contact, huge on that run. He was hit, I mean, he had a huge hole on that left side, but he was hit about 7 or 8 yards downfield and broke that tackle, just shed that thing off, and then broke it outside, broke another tackle or 2, and finished it off, just outrunning everybody. So the Rebels jumped out to a, this is like when Layton Christian played Kanab, they jumped out to a 13-0 lead, and then Kanab scored 34 unanswered. Rebels jumped out to a 13-0 lead, but the Eagles of Layton Christian have scored 30 unanswered. That last drive, just 11 seconds for the one play, 79-yard touchdown run. Here's the kickoff by Palumbo, and he boots this one high and deep. Trineri will field it at the 2. Runs to his left, 10 to the 15, spins away at the 20-yard line. He's hit and brought down. Got out to about the 19. Nice move by Trineri to spin away from that one tackler. And Terry with the initial hit. Coulter Wheelwright with the tackle, and the Rebels take over 1st and 10 from their own 19. Trineri, give him 17 yards on that return. Well, Rich in a hole. We'll see if they can dig deep and find some momentum. Now, one Rebel is down on the field. And Trayson Lutz was already taken to the hospital. Ander Rex was down for a few minutes earlier. Who is it? Justin Adams is the man down for the Rebels, being tended to. We'll take an injury timeout. 30-13, Layton Christian with the lead on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
This is Rich Rebel Senior, Landon Hunting, and you're watching Rich High School Football on Rebel Radio, KADQ FM 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
In today's world, with so many places to shop and so many options to choose from, sometimes you have to boil it down to one simple question: where do I get treated the best? At Cash Honda Yamaha in Logan, we work hard to make sure every customer knows how much we appreciate them. We love what we do, and we believe in the products we sell. Our goal is to build a lasting friendship with every customer so we can serve you and your family for generations. Visit us today, Cash Honda Yamaha, 3765 US 91, Hyde Park, Utah.
Justin Adams helped up, and he's making his way off the field. Some obvious pain. The freshman helped off, but mostly walking on his own. Hey, do we have time? Can you zoom in across the way? There's that Reagan Huffner limping on the sideline over there too, Canyon. Rebels really getting dinged up. That is Reagan Huffner. That explains why Hayden Meek is in Huffner's spot, the slot position on offense. Rebels a 1st and 10, needing to find some offense here. Huffaker takes the snap, pitches up to Landon Hunting. He was ripped either by the face mask or the horse collar type tackle, but no flag flies, and Hunting brought down at the line of scrimmage, no gain. So Hunting on his second touch of the ball game. Well, that looked like a face mask from here. Maybe they just got him below the face mask. In that case, I think it should have been a horse collar. 2nd down and 10. Huffaker from the shotgun. Looks right, throws deep left sideline. He's got Trenary, who goes up and he can't make the catch. Comes down on top of Ulrich Sutton. A nice defensive play by Sutton. I like that fake by Huffaker. It looked like he looked one way and almost looked like he was setting something else up, and then threw it down the right sideline for Trenary. Huffaker 8 of 21 for 98 yards and an interception. 2 rushing touchdowns on the day, 9 carries, 10 yards. Rebels have not gotten the rushing game going. They have 15 yards on the ground today. 20.5 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, brought to you by the town of Randolph. Huffaker fakes the throw, then goes deep down the left sideline looking for Hunting, who was wide open. Landon had a few steps on every defender. There were a couple over there, but the throw too close to the middle of the field. Hunting couldn't get to it. And boy, if that throw is just a couple yards deeper, that's a 81-yard touchdown pass and catch. But just underthrown, and Huffaker will line up to punt this one away. Good snap. Stetson, low line drive. Old Ulrich Sutton slips, and it takes a nice Rebel roll. Clear down to the 22, and Sutton picks it up, turns, and he's hit. Nice coverage by, is that Kyler Wilson? So the Eagles leading 30-13. Will take over with 6.5 seconds left to go in the 3rd. From their own 22-yard line. You can see we've had a number of situations in the game where players have slipped and been unable to keep their footing. That was one of them, as Sutton slipped a little bit and the ball got past him. Nice Rebel bounce clear to the 22-yard line. Line of scrimmage was the 19. That's a 58-yard punt. Holt from the shotgun takes the snap, fakes the handoff, and throws quickly to his right. Catch by Coulter, wheelright at the 30, immediately brought down. Good coverage by the Rebel defense. And that takes us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Rebels scored the first 13. The Eagles have scored 30 unanswered, 30-13 on the Stacey's Repair scoreboard. 3rd quarter's been brought to you by the town of Randolph. Mayor Scott Sabey, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson with Secretary Lisa Bell.
At beautiful Bear Lake, skiing, snowmobiling, sailing, and swimming are just some of the fun activities offered to recreationists. The greater Bear Lake Valley offers prime hunting and fishing areas, whether it's trout fishing in the streams or ice fishing for Cisco on the lake, hunting deer or seeking elk along the high mountain ridges. The scenic corner of Utah and Idaho offers outdoor recreation and historical interests away from crowds and high prices. Visit bearlake.org for more information.
(30-13) as we start the fourth quarter, brought to you by Bear Lake Realty. Layton Christian looking to defend the home field and win this one, keep themselves in a position to earn a first-round playoff game at home. Rebels looking for the same thing other than the home field, and Rich has a comeback to try and make. Holt takes the snap, gives left side some room to run. Across the 40 to the 45 goes David Antak. A big gain, excuse me, as somebody, that's the first carry for someone other than Dustin Maffo, and it goes clear out to near midfield. The 48-yard line, an 18-yard run for Antek. Maffo back in, no, Antak still in the backfield. Antak, a sophomore, gets the handoff again up the middle. This time not much room, but he dives forward to the 49-yard line. Line judge on this side says the 49. Line judge on the other side had it the 47. They'll spot it at the 49 of Rich. That's a 3-yard gain. So a second down and 7 for the Eagles offense. Boy, things were looking good through the first quarter and a half. The Rebels were on top 13-0, but since then it's been all Eagles. Touchdown, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, touchdown, including a 79-yard run by Dustin Moffel. Rebels showing pressure, left side. Holt throws out to the left flat. Got his man, Trey Johnson. Breaks a tackle, gets inside the Rebel 40 before he's wrapped up and brought down. To the 38-yard line, Johnson. An 11-yard gain. Johnson averaging 9.8 yards per catch coming into the game. He's at 3 catches for 20 yards. Jace Holt's efficiency going up with 3 consecutive completions. 7 of 12, 68 yards and a touchdown. 1 interception. Holt takes a low snap, gives to Antak, left side. He dances his way to the Rebel 35-yard line. A 3-yard gain. So a second down and 7. For the Eagles offense, 30-13. Rebel volleyball taking on Manila this evening. And freshman and JV teams both 1 in 3. Well, the freshmen actually took on Evanston 1 in 4. JV 1 in 3 against Manila. Ball on the ground. Rebels fall on it. A missed handoff going from Holt to Antak, and the Rebels drop on it. There's a flag down in the middle of the field, I believe. The bodies are getting in the way, but I thought I saw some laundry on the field. The officials did indicate that it's Rebel football. A penalty was a hold against Layton Christian, and the Rebels will decline that. Was it Hunting that fell on it? Hislop falls on the fumble. We'll give him the credit. Rebels 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line. Fourth quarter, 9:30 left to go in the Bear Lake Realty fourth. The Rebels down 30-13, needing some big plays and quick. Huffaker from the shotgun, 2 receivers right, 2 left. Hislop on his right hip, steps back, looking to throw, still stepping back, throws the screen, and Hunting tips it to himself, and then he's immediately brought down. The screen read well by Layton Christian. The Rebels have run a screen twice, and the Eagles have not been fooled by it. Those are some smart linemen. No gain on the play. Maybe loss of a half a yard.
Hunting with his second reception of the day, both of 0 yards. Rebels back up to the line for a 2nd down and 10. Clock running. Flea flicker. The pitch is low for Huffaker. He can't get to it. He's hit. The ball's still loose, and I think the Rebels fell on it. But that pitch was low. Huffaker couldn't pull it in initially and then just kept trying to scoop it up, and make something out of the play, and just couldn't ever do it. Clear back to the 26, a loss of 12. And Rebels face a 3rd and 23. 3rd and 22. It's back at the 26. They need the 30, the 48, so it is 22 yards to go on 3rd down. Clock running down to 8 minutes and 35 seconds to go. Rebels with 3 receivers left, 1 wide right. Stetson takes the snap, looks left, looks back to his right, tucks and tries to run, and he's got nowhere to go. Brought down back at the 20. Ball came loose after he went down. They'll spot it at the 21-yard line. A loss of 5. Calvin Allen with the sack, and the Rebels face a 4th down. Huffaker was ready to just go off the field after that sack. 4th and a mile, 27 yards to go. Huffaker takes the snap, boots it away, low line drive away from the return man, takes a nice Rebel roll. Sutton touches it, then picks it up at the 30, makes one man miss, and then he is hit hard. Jaden Nelson with a big hit, and Sutton is brought down at the 36. A return of about 7 yards. Looks like they'll give him a spot out at the 39. Wow. So an 8-yard return for Sutton. And the Eagles take over after the Rebel punt from their own 39-yard line. 4th quarter, 7:49 left to go. Ball on the right hash. Holt with Antak behind him. Looks like Coach Jones wants to keep Moffo safe. Antak takes the handoff and goes right into the heart of the line and loses a yard. Back at the 38. Antak 4 carries, 23 yards. Most of those came on an 18-yard run, his first carry of the day. 30-13. Rebels scored first. They jumped out to a 13-0 lead, but it's been all Eagles since then. They've scored 30 unanswered, including a field goal and 4 touchdowns. The biggest of those, a 79-yard run by Dustin Moffo. He has 2 of those touchdowns, a 4-yard run and a 79-yard run. Holt takes the snap, back, looking to throw, and pressure comes. He's flushed left, flushed back to his right, looking like Russell Wilson in the pocket. Breaks one tackle, steps forward, throws, and almost picked off. Huffaker and Wilson both had a shot at it in front of Dustin Moffo, but it falls incomplete. And Holt was hit after the throw, or as he threw. He goes over to the sideline, and he's in some pain. Coach is asking for a roughing the passer. They're not going to get it. So a 3rd down and 11 for Layton Christian offense, leading 30-13. That incompletion stopped the clock at 6:55. 2 receivers right, 2 wide left. Antak behind Holt. Ball in the right hash. Shotgun. Rebels showing pressure up the middle, and Antak gets through it, but then he's wrapped up and brought down at the 40. He fell forward to about the 41-yard line, a gain of 3. And the Rebel defense does its job to force a 4th and long in a likely punting situation, but probably going to be too little too late. The Rebels have 6.5 minutes left to go. Timeout, Layton Christian. 4th quarter is brought to you by Bear Lake Realty, Gary and Amber McKee in Garden City. We'll take a quick timeout as well and be right back on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com. Once you've visited the Bear Lake Valley, you'll want to come back many more times. Realtor Gary McKee and the team at Bear Lake Realty can show you ways you can own a piece of the lake. Whether you want a summer home, a lot, a quarter share in a home, or a place to live year-round, Gary McKee is the #1 real estate agent in Bear Lake. Visit with Gary today and learn about all the options you have. Bear Lake Realty in Garden City, Utah. Visit bearlakerealty.com.
(30-13), Layton Christian on top. Rebels will wrap up the season, the regular season, next week, hosting Altamont. And then a playoff game the next week. At this point, it's looking like that playoff game will, unless Rich can come up with an incredible comeback here, the Rebels will be on the road at either probably Parowan or Milford. Those teams meet to finish out the regular season next week. Let me see if we can get some scores real quick. The other games tonight in the South region are later. Duchesne beat Altamont yesterday, 21-7. Rebels just about blocked that punt. Hunting fields it at the 23. Starts right, goes left, across the 30, 35, tripped up and brought down. And a late hit out of bounds. A flag flies in. So a good return by Hunting, and they'll add on another 15. It was a good tackle initially by Timon Obermeyer, but then a late hit came in, and that's where the flag comes in. That's 8 penalties against Layton Christian, or this will be the 8th. Give Hunting a, let's see, they spotted him out at the 37. That was a 16-yard punt return. Nice punt by Flynn Dalton. 6:17 left to go. And the Eagles with a commanding lead, 30-13 on the Stacey's Repair scoreboard. Long discussion between these officials. We invite you to stay tuned for our Epic Recreation post-game show. We'll have a Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. We'll hear from Rich targeting Christian. It hurt them. It slowed them down a little bit early on. But here in the second half for the Rebel offense, as Hunting got down to the 44-yard line. A 3-yard gain. Hunting 2 carries, 4 yards. Stetson Huffaker 2 rushing touchdowns on twice in the second half. Their first 2 possessions helped Layton Christian on that 30 points unanswered run. Landon Hunting gets the pitch left side, and he's the original line of scrimmage. And Rich faces a 3rd down and 10 at the Layton Christian 47-yard line. Rebels had not run a running play for several possessions. This, boy, after a 13-0 lead, it's been rough for Rich. A 3-and-out, a pick 6, another 3-and-out. Here's 3rd and 10. Huffaker looks left, looks right, throws deep for Trineri, who turns and can't get to it. Trineri was cutting in on a post, and Huffaker threw it almost like more of a flag. And it falls incomplete. Bringing up a 4th down and 10. So again, the Rebels, they scored on their second possession, scored again two possessions later, but since then it's been a 3-and-out, a pick 6, a 3-and-out, a fumble, a 3-and-out, 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 and facing a 4th and long. Rebels will go for it on 4th and 10. Huffaker back looking to throw. He throws for Trineri, and again, read easily and perfectly by Brighton Hellbach. The Rebels trying to go for the hook and lateral, and Hellbach knocks it down. He had it in his hands, but let it slip through, and Layton Christian will take over 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line. 4:43 left to go. Huffaker 9 of 25, 98 yards through the air. That's a lot of passing attempts for this Rebel offense. Jared Anderson here with the team, been on the sideline, and said he was had some headaches this week, but and felt like he maybe could have played, but just didn't want to risk it. Wasn't cleared to play, so that's probably the bigger reason. 2 receivers left, 2 wide right. Antak behind Holt, takes the snap, gives to Antak left side. He's spun around, breaks a tackle. Flag flies in on what will probably be a face mask against the Rebels. Antak brought down on the sideline after a gain of about 6, maybe 7. it was an incidental contact, but the way Antak's head ripped around, that's got to be a personal foul. Yeah. A 15-yard penalty against the Rebels puts them at 50 yards in penalties in the game. And we'll give Layton Christian the first down at the 31. So they give Antak the 6-yard gain, plus at the end of the run, the personal foul. Layton Christian takes a timeout with 4:31 left to go. Mafo, his jersey is torn apart. And I would be surprised to see him back out there with 4:36 left in the ball game. I know he's been playing injured some of this season, and I think the last thing that Coach Drew Jones wants with a final game of the regular season next week against Duchesne on the horizon, last thing that Coach Jones wants is to get his man hurt. Dustin Mafo has carried the load for this team. 244 yards rushing today, 2 touchdowns. Runs of 4 and 79 yards for scores for Dustin Mafo. A 1st and 10 for Layton Christian at the Rebel 31-yard line. Rebels led 13-0, but it's been all Eagles since then. A 30 unanswered points for Layton Christian. Ball on the right hash, and the Eagles lined up in a formation like I've never seen. They've got Brighton Hellbach as the quarterback. He'll take the snap, and he is lit up. Colton Hislop into the backfield, just slipped through everybody, bringing the pressure up the middle from his linebacker position. And he brings Hellbach down. Back at the 35, a loss of 4. Hellbach again lined up as the quarterback. Hislop shows pressure, and a flag flies in. Offsides. Hislop got his helmet into the backfield. So a 5-yard penalty. Offsides. Into the neutral zone goes Hislop. 2nd down, and a lot of movement on that front line. I think this will put him right back 5 yards on a false start. 9 penalties, 100 yards against Layton Christian. So back to the 35. Second down and 14. Eagles trying to figure things out here. Hellbach at quarterback. 3 minutes, 45 seconds to go. Hellbach takes the snap. It's low, but he goes down and gets it, drives straight forward into the line, and he's finally wrapped up and driven down. About the 32 is where he got to. His progress was stopped there. A 3-yard gain. Brings up a 3rd down and 11. Hellbach, again, the deep back. It's a wildcat formation with 2 slots on the right side. Lots of extra guys, double tight end set, 1 man wide left. Hellbach low snap again, and Hislop again is in the backfield, wraps him up, and he gets some help from a couple other Rebels as well. And Hellbach loses a yard again. Now spotted back at the 33. Brings Julio Palumbo out, and he is lining up to attempt a field goal. He puts his tee down, or his little platform down at the 41. This is a 51-yard field goal attempt. Snap good, the spot good, the kick well short. Bounces about 1 yard or 9 yards deep in the end zone. Why not? Good attempt by Palumbo. It was on target, but short. So the Rebels take over. 1st and 10. And they'll take over from their own 20-yard line. 4th quarter. 2:26 left to go. Rebel varsity volleyball team in action against Manila tonight. That's at Rich High School, so if you're not there now, get down there quick. That one was scheduled to start at 6:30. The freshmen beat Evanston 3-1. The JV beat Manila 3-0. Dominant sets, 25-4, 25-13, 15-6. Rebels scored the first 13 in this football game, but the Eagles have scored the last 30, and they lead 30-13 with just 2:26 left to go. Huffaker back looking to throw deep down the right sideline. Trenary tries to come back to it and gets it on the right sideline, and he's driven out of bounds. So they'll keep the clock going. Nope, they'll stop it. Will they keep it running or not? Initially, the line judge said keep rolling the clock. Then he said stop it at 2:17. Out at the 40, a 20-yard completion. Trenary with the catch. He's at 73 receiving yards in the game. Rebels huddle up with the stop on the, oh no, they do run the clock. So just stopped it for the first down to move the chains. A comprehensive family dental first down. Huffaker again from the shotgun, back looking to throw, looking for the same spot, going for Trenary down the sideline, and boy, a lot of hand fighting up there. The ball tipped away at the last second by Dalton. Trenary was the intended receiver again. Huffaker, 10 of 27, 118 yards, 1 interception, 2 rushing touchdowns in the game. Second down and 10 for the Rebel offense at their own 40. Clock stopped at 1:52. And Layton Christian looking to improve to 3-5 this season. They'll even their region record at 1-1. Huffaker left side looking for Hunting, that's thrown short. Landon just couldn't find the footing to get back to it at midfield. And it falls incomplete. Third down and 10 for the Rebels. At their own 40. Rich will end the regular season next week hosting the Altamont Longhorns. Longhorns will be playing to earn a home field playoff game in the first round of the playoffs. Huffaker takes the snap, gives to Hislop, pitch back on a flea flicker. Stetson rolls to his left, throws deep down the middle, and the only man there was a Eagle, Armel Kayateri. If Huffaker could have thrown it deeper, he had Trenary open deep down the field. Not Trenary, but I think Meek. A flag came in late, and this may be a roughing the passer. Huffaker, yeah, it is a roughing the passer. 10 penalties, 115 yards against the Eagles. A minute 40 left to go in this football game. Rebels will be into Eagle territory at the 45-yard line. Ball on the right hash as Rich huddles back at about the 35. They'll jog up the 20 yards to the line of scrimmage, and they may need to hurry here. Hayden Meek wide to the left side, 2 receivers on the left. Huffaker back looking to throw. Pressure comes. He throws right, picked off at the 40. Bouncing out right side. Still on his feet. Coulter Wheelwright with his second pick of the game is finally brought down by Stetson Huffaker, and a flag comes in on what may be a targeting, but that's one of those targeting calls that's tough because both players lower their heads to try and, one, make the tackle, the other to try and break the tackle, and they just inadvertently hit helmet to helmet. Wheelwright with his second interception of the game. A face mask penalty? So face mask is the call against Rich. Second face masking penalty of the game for the Rebels. 70 yards on 8 penalties against Rich. That'll give Layton Christian some field position. Rebels' second half has been, one of those came on a penalty. They call it an incidental face mask. And Layton Christian takes over at the 50. 1:29 left to go here in the fourth. Snap, and Amtak takes it straight up the gut. He's got some quick feet. Dives forward across inside the Rebel 45 to the 44. A 6-yard gain for David Amtak. who's got 38 yards on 7 carries, came into the game with 1 carry for 8 yards. Second down and 4, and these second stringers for Layton Christian want to put another one on the board. Antak lined up and takes the snap again. Patient run and picks up nothing. Back to the line of scrimmage. Rebel defense trying to limit the damage at this point with under a minute to go. Layton Christian will improve. In the history of the Eagles program, 57-91, a .385 win percentage. They'll improve that a little bit with their 58th win in program history. Rebels will drop 149th loss ever for Rebel football. Antak takes the snap, goes outside, cuts back in, breaks a tackle, still on his feet, runs backwards to the 45, still on his feet. Finally, the whistle comes in as the Rebels hit him down. And a late hit on the Eagles, and they have to push Colonnade away from Kyler Wilson. It was a late hit on Nade, and then Wilson popped up and tried to push back. 2 Rebel parents out on the field. They'll get tossed. And another flag flies in as Rich coach Justin Grohl comes in to defend his team. Wilson again got up just to defend himself, and another flag flies in. So bunches of flags, and this may take a couple minutes to sort out. There will be some offsetting for sure, as Nade will be called for a unsportsmanlike play. Wilson may be as well, as, again, he popped up and retaliated. Antek lost 2 yards on the carry. But, boy, that seems like a unsportsmanlike against Layton Christian, unsportsmanlike against Rich. Offsetting penalties. And they'll run the clock. That'll probably do it. Layton Christian facing a 4th down and 6, does not need to run another play. The officials just say that's the ball game. They tell the sideline, the Eagles, to stay on their side. The Rebels will walk back to their sideline as time runs out. 30-13, Layton Christian with the victory. Rebels scored the first 13. Eagles scored the next 30. And the Eagles earned the win. Rebels dropped to 1-7 on the season, 0-2 in 1A North Region play with just 1 game left next week, hosting the Altamont Longhorns. This 4th quarter has been brought to you by Bear Lake Realty. If you're looking for beachfront, room with a view, or secluded mountain retreat, buy now and start enjoying beautiful Bear Lake. 30-13, the final score. Stay tuned. Epic Recreation postgame show coming up when we return on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
Propane is a byproduct of 2 processes, natural gas processing and petroleum refining. About 90% of U.S. propane is domestically produced and stored in huge salt caverns, which can store 80 million barrels or more of this gas. This quality product is shipped by pipeline, truck, ship, and barge until it reaches T7 Propane in Woodruff. From there, it gets to your home or ranch for your convenience and comfort. Call T7 Propane. Get set up for regular propane deliveries so you don't run out. T7 Propane in Woodruff.
If you haven't eaten a famous Crawford Angus burger at the Crawford Trough in Randolph, you haven't lived. It starts with a 1/4 pound Angus beef, pastrami, bacon, pepper jack cheese, and ranch sauce. Add lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and pickles. The only thing that makes it better is when you add an order of home-cut fries and a fresh raspberry shake. Heaven. Stop in and enjoy a burger today. The Crawford Trough, open later on every Rich High home game day. 120 South Main, Randolph.
Fireworks there at the end, but not of the good kind. Some penalty flags flying as the tempers run high there to finish this one out. Layton Christian with the win. Let's tell you more about it. Welcome to the Epic Recreation post-game show. Visit epicrecreation.net when you visit Bear Lake. It's time for the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. And it started off really well for the Rebels. The first possession was Layton Christian. They were forced into a punt. Rebels punted, but then The Eagles muffed a punt. Rebels forced a turnover on downs and had a 1st and goal at the 10. Rich took advantage of that and scored 2 plays later. Stetson Huffaker, a 1-yard touchdown run. Extra point was good. Rebels led 7-0. A few possessions later, Layton Christian had it and threw it down the field. Kyler Wilson picked it off, returned it 46 yards to the Layton Christian 39. 4 plays later, Huffaker ran in his 2nd touchdown of the day, a 3-yard run this time, and Rich led 13-0 after they missed the extra point. From there, it went downhill for the Rebels. Their next possession, a punt. Then Layton Christian from the 50. They drove 50 yards and scored to make it 13-6. Rebels' next possession, intercepted pass. Coulter Wheelwright takes it to the house, and at the half, it was Rich leading 13-12. Start of the 3rd quarter, the Rebels fumbled on their first possession. Layton Christian took advantage with a field goal. Rebels fumbled again, and Layton Christian took advantage with a 4-yard touchdown run for Dustin Maffo. It was 23-13 at that point. The next time Layton Christian got the ball, Maffo goes 79 yards for the score. Layton Christian led 30-13. They scored 30 unanswered points. Rebels turned it over 3 times in the second half, and the Eagles earned the win 30-13 on the Stacy's Repair scoreboard. That's your Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. 113 Front Street in Evanston, that's Jimmy John's, where fresh and fast meat. They spend 6 hours daily slicing all natural meats and fresh produce for your 30-second sandwich. Stay tuned. We'll be back on the Epic Recreation post-game show to talk with Coach Justin Grohl and have some final game highlights and stats when we return on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
What are 2 words that tell the world you had the best time ever? Epic Recreation. That's right. Nothing else compares, and you do it all again. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at Bear Lake. Open year-round, Epic Recreation has everything you need: boats, sea-doos, paddleboards, kayaks, UTVs, and more. When you want to have an epic vacation at Bear Lake, remember, Epic Recreation equals epic fun. Visit epicrecreation.net.
Winston Churchill said, "No hour of life is wasted that is spent in the saddle." The same is true about education. No hour of life is wasted when learning. Eddie and Todd Jensen, owners of Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho, understand the value of good education. Serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming, Mound Valley Cattle Company is proud to support the students at Rich High School in academics and activities. Mound Valley Cattle Company, 208-339-0614.
Back on the Epic Recreation post-game show. Rebels, again, jumped out to a 13-0 lead. Things were looking good, but the Eagles scored 30 unanswered, and Layton Christian with the win on a beautiful evening in Layton. Not beautiful scoreboard, though, for Rebel fans. 30-13 the final. Rebels had just 116 yards of offense. Most of that came in the first half, 91 yards in the first half. Rich, -9 rushing yards in the second half. Finished with just 15 yards on the ground. Stetson Huffaker, he gave a great effort tonight in the losing effort. He's filling in at quarterback and saw some really positive things from him. Running the ball well, made some good reads, some good throws. Finished 10 of 29 for 118 yards and 2 picks. Had 2 rushing touchdowns in the game. The Rebels receivers, Kason Trineri, 6 receptions, 73 yards. Reagan Huffner, 3 receptions, 43 yards. He didn't play most of that second half, at least all of the fourth quarter did not play. Oh, my apologies. I'm pushing buttons and got the wrong one. So on the other side of the ball, Dustin Maffo, 28 carries, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jace Holt, the quarterback, finished at 7 of 14, 68 yards and a pick. And then David Antak did some nice work there at the end, 8 carries, 36 yards. And Layton Christian, 278 yards on the ground, 60 yards through the air, 340 total offensive yards. Those some stats and highlights there. Stay tuned. We'll talk with Coach Aaron Worthland. I just got word from Coach Justin Grohl. He's concerned about Trayson Lutz and wants to go check on how he's doing. That's totally understood, and we'll give him a pass on our interview tonight here at Layton Christian. Final score 30-13. Stay tuned. More of the Epic Recreation postgame show right after this on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com.
More than 1,300 rural hospitals were evaluated, and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital placed in the top 20 for quality and best practices and critical access. Offering a 24-hour emergency department, orthopedics, home health, a residential nursing home, physical therapy, surgical services, family doctors, chemotherapy, dialysis, and more. When it comes to your health, make sure you're seen by the best. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital in Montpelier, Idaho. Count on us to care. It's refreshing to know that when you're at Bear Lake, you can shop at a sporting goods store that treats you right. Pokestone Sporting has served residents and visitors for over 18 years. Get all you need to have fun at the lake and in the mountains. Licenses to fish and hunt, boat supplies, flotation devices, clothing, fishing equipment, toys for the kids, guns, and, of course, rentals. Winter, summer, spring, or fall, Pugstones has it all. Want it delivered to your door? Shop online, pugstonesporting.com.
Layton Christian come from behind, win 30-13. Rebels jumped out to a 13-0 lead. It was all Layton Christian after that. We're going to jump into our Rebel sports update and hear from cross-country coach Aaron Worthland. Rebels competed at the region cross-country meet earlier this week.
Ryan STEINECKERT with Rich High School cross-country coach Aaron Worthland. Coach, hard to believe this month and a half has gone by so quickly, but already the region meet was on Tuesday morning. First of all, before we get into how the region meet went, how has the fall season gone for you guys, workouts and things like that?
Overall, season's been more of a roller coaster, I think, than anything. It's gone up and down when we're just looking at practicing, and not having meets does kind of hinder what I believe the ability of the athletes are. I believe that their ability is much beyond what they practice at. But hopefully within the next couple of years we can set up a couple other meets that they can, at least parents and I can take them to, and we'll see how that goes. But I'd say towards the end, kids were looking really good. I mostly had boys that would come to practice. A lot of the girls were doing another sport, so I didn't see them ever. But the boys did pretty well, and I'll tell you this, they towards the end of the season, they were looking, I'd have to say they were looking pretty good, but I felt like they could do more, so I was hoping in region they would show that they could do more.
And so did they? How did the cross-country, the region meet go?
I thought I'd wait for that question. So, yeah, they did, actually. They were quite impressive. I was a little surprised. When I got to the meet, I expected the same meet as last year. It is at the same place. They said that they made one change, and it ended up cutting it cut about a half a mile off the race. So we actually ended running up, rather than running a 5K, we ran a 2.6 mile instead of a 3.1, so just about half mile short. So I went and ran it before all of them, and when I finished, I thought, holy cow, I ran that fast, and then I realized that it was only a 2.6. So I talked to the kids, and then I talked to some just made sure the other teams were aware that it was a 2.6, so that they race a little differently. But when they came away with it, it was awesome, phenomenal. All the boys and girls side both did extremely well. I'd have to say, from what I saw the boys doing in practice, I was expecting pretty good, but then they showed way beyond what I expected. They outperformed what my expectations were. So Jaden Ward took second. So we have a freshman who took second. He was really close to first. He was only about 10 seconds behind the first runner from Manila. But I didn't quite expect that from Jaden, but he surprised me. But he surprised all of us. And then after that, in the top 10, we had three of our boys finished top 10, one just outside, and overall the entire team did really well, and we're really excited for region, for state next week. And we took second place overall. We were 2 points off of Manila, and next week we intend on being even better, hopefully placing in the top 4 in state is our plan.
Oh, that's great. How about the girls as a team and any individuals?
So, yeah, girls side, our girls, they took region. It really wasn't close. We had the top 3 girls, so Lauren, Grace, and Emily took 1, 2, and 3. So Lauren Thompson, Grace Walmsley, and Emily Willis were the top 3 there. And then Tabiona and Manila got a couple girls in before we finished with our 2 girls. So next week we'll have the plan is to have an entire team of 7, depending on there were some health issues, so Haley and I couldn't run, and Aisha Caldwell couldn't run, so those 2 hopefully will be running at state. And then on the boys' side, Danny Staley should have been running as well, but he was on a cruise, so he didn't get a run. So hopefully next week we'll have teams of 7, and girls' side we're looking at top 3. We're shooting for it. That's where we were last year at number 3. So hopefully we can place right around there. And then boys side top 4. Last year it was 5, so we should be able to be right around there depending on how everyone competes. But it'll be really competitive, and we're really excited.
Well, great. Congratulations on the region title for the girls, the runner-up for the boys.
Yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Anything else you want to touch on about the region cross-country meet, or as you get ready for state next week?
We have a good hard week ahead of us, and over the next few days, push until next Tuesday. And then we'll relax Tuesday, and then we'll hit it hard on Wednesday. But we're looking forward to it, and I'm excited to see all the kids perform and succeed. So, yeah.
Aaron Worthland, cross-country coach at Rich High School. Again, congratulations on the region title and the second-place finish for the boys. Good luck getting ready for state. Thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you. Take care, Ryan.
Thanks so much, Coach Worthland. And again, congratulations to the girls, a region cross-country title, and the boys, runner-up, also a region individual champion, Lauren Thompson. Congratulations to Lauren. 30-13, our final score. One more quick break, and then we'll wrap this thing up here. Layton Christian with the win. We'll be right back with more of the Epic Recreation postgame show on the Wildlife and MyLocalRadio.com.
In addition to local information and the best live coverage of local sports, you can stream music 24/7 at MyLocalRadio.com. Log on and choose the music you like best. Classic or modern country, indie, adult contemporary, or classic rock. Stream it live through your computer or cell phone. Listen to the music you want and don't miss the information you need. Like us on Facebook and visit MyLocalRadio.com today.
What are 2 words that tell the world you had the best time ever? Epic Recreation. That's right. Nothing else compares, and you do it all again. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at Bear Lake. Open year-round, Epic Recreation has everything you need. Boats, Sea-Doos, paddleboards, kayaks, UTVs, and more. When you want to have an epic vacation at Bear Lake, remember, Epic Recreation equals epic fun. Visit epicrecreation.net.
Back on the Epic Recreation post-game show. The evening light is just about gone. You can see some up there on the tops of the mountains. A beautiful setting here at Layton Christian. And the Eagles with a win 30-13 over the Rebels. So Rich with one more game. Now, there are some scenarios in which the Rebels could have a tie for the for that third or second place spot in the region. Layton Christian next week plays host to Duchesne. Duchesne beat Altamont yesterday. The Rebels take on Altamont next week, so there could be a couple of teams that end 2-2 if the Rebels can win. You might have a couple of teams, rather 1-2 in the region if the Rebels can beat Altamont next week. That's on Thursday. And speaking of looking ahead to next Thursday, let's look ahead at the rest of this weekend. Now, the Rebel volleyball team in action tonight, hosting Manila, JV 1-3. The freshmen beat Evanston 3-1. Varsity up 1-0, 25-20, according to my last update there. Rebels hosting Manila tonight, needing that region win. And then Rich will get back on the court tomorrow hosting the Tabiona Tigers. Freshman, sophomore at 11, JV at 12:15, and our varsity coverage starts at 1:10 tomorrow afternoon from Rich High School. The Rebel freshman football team also in action tomorrow, hosting Mountain View. That's at 10 a.m. And then tomorrow night for college football fans, the Cowboys are at Fresno State. Go Pokes. Pregame here on KADQ is at 6:30 with the kickoff at 7:30. Dave Walsh, Kevin McKinney, and the crew. Looking ahead real quickly to next week, make sure to, if you're in the Garden City or Lake Town area, go to the, make yourself aware at least of the community bond election meeting at Garden City offices, the Lakeview Room at 6 p.m. Monday evening. Tuesday, Southridge Elementary and Rich High School picture retakes all day, and the school district board meeting at the district office Tuesday night at 6. Wednesday, the state cross-country meet at Sugar House Park in Salt Lake. Girls race at 10, boys race at 11:30. Rebels will take entire teams as the girls cross-country team won the region and the boys took second place. So good luck to those teams. Thursday, October 18th, Rebel football hosts Altamont. No JV game, varsity at 4. And then that night, Rebel volleyball team is at North Summit with the freshmen at 5, JV at 6:15, varsity at 7:30. Also on Friday, Rebel volleyball team wraps up the regular season hosting South Summit. JV at 4:30, or freshmen at 4:30, JV at 5:45, and our varsity pregame starts at 6:40 a week from tonight. Then next Saturday, Cowboys are back on the field versus the Utah State Aggies at War Memorial Stadium back home. Right now, this may change based on how well Utah State is doing this season, but
right now the schedule is 11:30 pregame, kickoff at 12:30 next Saturday on KADQ. And again, don't miss Cowboys football tomorrow night, pregame at 6:30 and kickoff at 7:30. And again, Rebel volleyball back in action tomorrow. We'll have the match for you right here on KADQ. Pregame coverage starts at 1:10 right here on the Wildlife and mylocalradio.com. Well, that wraps up this look ahead and our Epic Recreation postgame show. For rentals in the Bear Lake area, visit epicrecreation.net. For tonight's videographer, Canyon Pace, and our producer, Jordan Bowie, and AJ Lamb helped out today as well. Thank you. Back in the studio, I'm Ryan STEINECKERT. We'll talk with you again soon.
You've been tuned into Rich High School Rebel football on Rebel Radio, KADQ FM 98.3 with video online at mylocalradio.com. Today's game has been brought to you by these Rebel supporting businesses and individuals. Plains Tire, mylocalradio.com, Jensen Wood Motors in Montpelier, Idaho, Evanston Regional Hospital, Rocky Mountain Yeti, by the Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau, Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet, Westar Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, and by Cash Honda Yamaha in Logan. The preceding has been a wholly owned production of Old West Media, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the aforementioned rights holder.
Our executive producer is Val Cook. We thank our office manager, Kayleen Anderson, and our sales manager, Julie Burley, along with KNYN Sports Director, Jake Hibbert, Bridger Valley Sports Director, Sean Bennett, and production assistants, Jordan Bowie and AJ Lamb. Biggest thanks to all of our sponsors. We thank you so much, and to you for tuning in. We invite you to visit mylocalradio.com for archived games and past interviews with Rebel players and coaches. Thank you for joining us on this presentation of Rich Rebel Sports on KADQ FM 98.3 and online at mylocalradio.com. Until the next time Rich High football team takes the field,